baseball, and I talked to you and confirmed it. You were so classy. You never engaged. You just sat there and took it all.
Well, a little bit.
You really did. I remember seeing.
I beat the shit out of a couple paparazzi only on.
No, I get that, but I mean, you never struck back in a whole Hollywood setup for PR.
Nah, you know what? I just kind of took my licks and just walked away. I didn't belong where I was anyway, so I belong in my shop with my hood.
I was about to say, you're like. People think like Jesse James is a wild man, the number guy on TV, reality TV, guns, everything. And then knowing you, it's like whoa. It's like there's not even anything going on here but reality. It's the total difference than the emptiness of Hollywood. Because, you've been offered tons of stuff. I've been offered things. It's like so empty. Like, thank God you're in Austin, brother. You like being in Austin?
I dig it. Except for, man, it's pretty hot in August.
It is. Well, plus LA's moving here. Nothing against California, but it's like, it is kind of, the trendies. And
yeah. So we got to tell them, if anybody wants to move here, tell them like, oh man, it's like crazy with insects.
Well, we got like 18 minutes left. I appreciate you coming down tonight during the 52-hour live broadcast. In just a few hours, it's midnight. We go into tomorrow. You keep saying when Trump wins tomorrow, you got the floor. Just take over. Jesse James doesn't, just show up for nothing. You're kicking ass. Tell us where you stand, where Trump is, where you see this going.
Unless, I think if there's going to be any kind of foul play or dirty tricks, I think it'll be pretty obvious. I think everything's so transparent now that I don't see how they can get away with it. Then that's really the only chance she has to win. And I think I have my ear to the ground and know people all over this country, and I can feel the groundswell. Can't you feel it?
I can feel it. I can't even
talk to my good friend Rob in Philadelphia, and they tried to go to the Trump rally it's been about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They didn't get they got like 15 miles away from it.
I left 4 hours before he was here a few months ago.
Yeah.
Brother, I was in traffic for 2 hours and gave up. Our crew got there. They had to walk 2 miles in.
Yeah. I just think people are fed up. People they may not know him that well, but things suck so bad now they're willing to take a chance, and they want. I think we need to be inspired.
I like how Trump says, "I'm not perfect, nobody is, but I've grown," and I can really see that in the process. And again,
can you honestly look? Trump loves this country, and he loves the people, and he's always been thankful for decades about.
That's why the elite are so scared.
Can you honestly look at Hillary and think that she loves this country or loves the people? No,
the WikiLeaks say she hates it.
It's all about money, and I think I think in her mind she probably doesn't think she's ever done anything wrong. I think she's probably whiffing her own fumes and think, oh, well, I'm amazing. I was the former first lady and Secretary of State, and I'm like, everybody should kiss my ring. Yeah, and waltz me right into the presidency.
Entitlement.
Yeah, I think she's going to be wearing an orange jumpsuit very soon.
Well, that's why they're so scared, because Trump the other night, I've been talking to folks. They say if Trump says something, he's going to try it, and that's why he knows we've got trade deals that are totally one-sided. That's why he keeps saying it's so easy. It's so easy. We're not going to screw Mexico or China over. We're just not going to have China with a 35% currency tax on us.
Yeah, we're not going to bend over and let everybody take it to us that we want to do business with. I think. Don't
you love, because I know in business, I'm talking to folks, you're a good business guy. You're not going to get run over. You do good deals. Same with me. They go, Alex Jones is a real asshole in business because I wouldn't let you run over me. I do good deals. It's the same thing. No, we're not screwing people, but we're not here to be screwed.
Yeah, I think it's, there's a difference between being an asshole and a difference between being shrewd and on top of your game business-wise, and it's there's, when you get a little bit of success, there's people that'll, purposely put themselves in your way to steal from you or sue you or whatever, and I've been through it all, man. And it's, I think it kind of, you build up a scab towards life and business and society. And I just, I think, man, if you or I did some of the stuff that Hillary's done, we'd
be in jail.
Yeah, we'd be in jail. And it's I think the stuff with Comey, this is how it works. Comey's basically a front office guy, right?
Exactly.
So there's
it's like a spokesman.
There's FBI headquarters and there's field offices all over the country, and agents handle investigations, not the home office. And
Politicos go to political dinners.
Yeah, and so for all we know, the investigation could still be going on because agents could have taken it at a field office and taken it over themselves.
Well, that's happened, actually. The problem is they can't get it up through the Justice Department.
And agents can present their evidence to Congress on their own.
And I know you're like saying they could. You're being told. I'm guessing you've been told this. I've been told this too. They're ready for press conferences. That's why Hillary's so scared.
Yep. I just think, I think they got her. I think they put some kind of pressure on Comey so it didn't appear that he was like doing stuff to manipulate the election. But I've had a lot of friends that have been under investigation by the feds, and any of the ones that ever rap smack about the feds or FBI's, guess what? Including my own sister. Guess where they're all at?
In the pen.
Yep. And when FBI comes to interview you, they have a 97% conviction rate. When they interview you, they've already got you. They're not like the cops, like, oh man, this guy smacked his wife. We better drive out there and see what happened and do an investigation. No, the FBI doesn't operate like that.
Yeah, they wouldn't even mess with Hillary if they weren't going after her.
Yeah, they don't waste their time. And I think it's only a matter of time. Will she, and I'm glad it's not happening before the election, because then they'll always like, oh,
well, that's what I was told. I was told it's after the election.
Then everybody would always say, oh, Trump only won because she went to jail. No, I don't want it like that. I want him to like have an overwhelming day tomorrow where the people speak.
Exactly. And it's not that the police or the feds or anybody's perfect. What do you make of, Jesse James is our guest here in studio, one of the top TV hosts, but really a metallurgist, top blacksmith over here, expert in automobiles, you name it. I don't know how you describe it all, but really cool stuff.
Make good French toast, too.
Americana. Looking at this, it's that Hillary and the globalists are out to get the country, and then they fund George Soros, this weirdo Nazi collaborator. I say weirdo.
One of my customers knows him, and he just says the guy just hates America. And I was like, well, I asked him, I said, well, what's his end game? Like, if Soros is funding all this stuff, he's got to, if he's putting millions of dollars out there, what does he get? And I guess he's like a global commodities guy. And so
he thinks that we collapsing and buying up.
Yep.
And Soros admits that. Well, here's people ask me my end game. Low taxes, prosperity, great medical care, a future. These Soros went on 60 Minutes. They've taken it off the web. We've got a clip of it. But if you put it up, they hit you with copyright. And it's Leslie Stahl. She's like 1999. She goes, you helped round up more than 10,000 Jews in Romania and Hungary. Do you apologize? He goes, no, I do not. It's what I need to do. The point is, this guy is the biggest demon you can imagine.
Yeah.
He's here, and just what you said, he doesn't like all this prosperity and freedom. He just wants to mount our head on the wall. Like, I see somebody that's great at building stuff. I admire him. George Soros would see you, this great metallurgist, this great artist. He frickin' hates you, man. It's like this total difference between we love people that produce, we hate people that produce.
It's like a Brave New World, dumbing down a society, and we just want like worker drones that do their part and then die off, and then we'll breed more. And
he thinks we're there to serve him.
Yep.
And so let me ask you, I think they want to bridge too far, because cops aren't perfect. There's bad cops.
Well, you know what? In a litigious society, though, why aren't the families of the slain Dallas officers suing that guy personally?
No, hear me out. I totally agree.
And anybody that lost their house or their business or anything in Ferguson, man, why aren't they going after them?
No, because they're too chivalrous. That's what I'm saying. Is that I'm somebody that's against the police state, but that's a governmental issue. That's the people. The cop has one of the hardest, craziest jobs. On average, they're
a lot of people, I think they judge because I have tattoos and I ride a bike and I'm from Long Beach and I grew up in the hood, and they think I'm like an anti-police. And I was an honorary Long Beach police officer for 15 years. I went to meetings every week, and it's like, there's no way in hell that I would want to be a cop in this.
Well, that was my next point is, cops have problems, but on average, compared to the general public, they're more committed, more involved. Points, they're not perfect, but what do you make of Soros and Obama? I think that's their failure point, is when they openly tried to cause a civil war and push groups that were saying kill cops.
Yeah, and the stuff with Trayvon Martin, Ferguson, all that stuff, Obama could have, ended it.
That's what I mean.
Right?
So what do you think's behind that?
I don't know. I kind of think, we don't, we'll know in time, but I don't think we really know who Obama was. I think we all saw that one Democratic National Convention speech, and we were going, we were tired of Iraq and tired of the Bush years, and we all saw that one speech like, oh man, this is what we need. And we rode that. We didn't vet him. We didn't do any of the stuff that they normally do. And, all this stuff that's happening now with the one-sided with media and stuff, that was all happening then.
But now we know.
Yeah, but there was no WikiLeaks, and there was no, Twitter wasn't big.
Yeah, what do you make of the newest thing where every CNN show and MSNBC is scripted by the White House? Can you imagine the job where the White House and Hillary and others are running everything they do, Jesse James? That is crazy. The questions are pretty...
It's like state media, and it's like, Russian censorship. And that's we've always prided ourselves as a free-thinking, free media society.
Exactly. So how do you as a Democrat, because we've been to the events in Ferguson. No, I'm saying, how do you as hypothetically, no, not you. How is somebody as a Democrat, because I've never been a Republican, but hell, I'm with them now compared to these people. You sit there, how do you, because we've had reporters in Ferguson and in Detroit and in California, just all over the country. I'm trying to mention all the places. We've had reporters probably 30 places. And there are literal college kids bust in, funded by Move On and Soros, saying, deck the halls with dead cops, shoot cops. That's calling for murder. So I asked the question, how do you get college kids?
Just beat their ass. Nightsticks again.
Well, I agree.
No
so how did you, that's what I'm saying. How do you get somebody to randomly just say, a cop's gassing up his car, I'm going to walk up and shoot him in the head? What the hell, man?
I don't, it's already a tough job enough to be a cop, but to then, people trying, I don't know.
So what do you think, though? You're a smart guy. I'm asking your view. Why are elements of the government, of the Democrats, trying to say deck the halls with dead cops? And then we get in the last year 100 cops or more murdered in cold blood. No one even knew their name. These people just kill them because MSNBC said it was cool.
I don't know. It's probably the stuff, that you've always said, trying to start a civil war and trying to start unrest. I can't put it together in my mind, the why someone would do that. Why, I don't know. I don't really know.
Because you're not a scumbag.
Yeah, and it's just like, hey, I've got my ass kicked by the cops before a few times. And you know what? I totally deserve it.
Me too.
And it's like...
Cops showed up.
Yeah, and I think, now that everybody's got Facebook Live, okay, yeah, cop's going to pull me over.
It's all out of context.
Cool, I'm going to talk smack to the cop. And I think if we took out nightsticks and went crack like we used to, then a lot of that would go away.
Well, here's what I'll say. We need balance in this country, but the enemy is not local government. The enemy are these multinationals like Soros.
Yeah, I think it's, if people are it's a whole nother element. It's one thing with civil unrest because I lived through the LA riots and, and it was pretty bad. That was, no one was paying people to do that. People were genuinely pissed in South Central about Rodney King. I don't agree with the way they went about it, but I think, those guys did beat Rodney King's ass. Rodney King was resisting arrest, but,
they overdid it.
He maybe deserved to get a thump on the back of the head or restrained.
But not 20.
But he didn't deserve to be kicked and get his ass kicked. I come from the days where if you ran from the cops or you took a swing at a cop, you got your ass kicked. And if maybe it wasn't right then, but it was back at the station when nobody could see it. And that, I think...
My experience with the cops was, I don't want to get into it, but I mean, they would actually find out what happened and let me go, even though some other guy was in a coma. But I wasn't looking for trouble. My only issue was there were some political cops who were bad. Jesse James, in the time we have left, I'm just going to tell you, inside baseball, he literally makes...
basically support cops. That's what I say.
Well, because here's the deal. You compare the cops, the general jellyfish.
You know what? Here's the bottom line. You can talk all the shit you want about police officers and police abuse and all this stuff, but when your 70-year-old mom is choking to death on the floor of your kitchen, you call 911.
Well, I was about to say, it's a cop-out because it's individuals.
And the cop is going to get there the fastest. That's who's going to come and try to save her.
No, I totally agree with you that statistically, you've got a couple hundred people killed a year by cops, maybe wrongfully, but you've got thousands of people saved. It becomes this establishment government that's so corrupt is wanting to scapegoat the police. And so that's what I'm against.
Yeah, and I think, Obama threw gasoline on it, as the commander-in-chief. He should protect all military.
And what's the point of that?
Protect all law enforcement. That's what he does. Those are the people that are protecting him. It's basically goes right back to the situation with having, Michelle Obama and Hillary and Obama treating their Secret Service like crap.
So what's the psychological calculus by them?
I think they're in positions that they didn't earn and they haven't worked hard for, and they act like everything's owed to them, including military and police and all that. Oh, you guys wouldn't even be here if I wasn't president, and I think it's not like
arrogance.
Not like Trump getting off the plane and thanking every police officer and thank you. Look at these guys. Those guys are awesome.
And the citizens and the cooks.
Yeah. Obama, Hillary, and Michelle look at all those guys like, oh, I'm big timer. I'm flying on a big jet. Look at you. You guys owe me.
It's an elitism.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question then. Looking at this and looking at how the so-called left operates, what would they do, Jesse James, if they had their way with America?
I think basically the plan is to keep everybody on some kind of government assistance and flood as many people in there. It's basically not having a country and open borders and all that stuff. It's basically not having a country anymore. All the stuff that we fought for 200 years and fought several wars to defend, they don't believe in that. They don't believe in the American dream. And it sounds, every word of that Pledge of Allegiance and every word of the Declaration of Independence and every word of the Constitution, those guys, that stuff's meaningful.
And people could say, oh, that's America, that's a cult. And I used to even think that 10 years ago, but then I realized, except what else there is. We don't do this.
Well, here's the thing.
It was successful.
Go to Calexico in Mexico or Tijuana, and then go right over the border.
That's what I'm saying.
Go right over the border to National City. There's no difference between, the borders leak into America, and it makes all the
No, I
all
agree.
The cities that are right over the border.
That's what I'm saying.
Like a third world country. And that pretty soon that's going to go farther and farther and farther. And the bottom line, I think, is we just can't afford it. The tax dollars we pay, and I pay a lot of taxes, and everybody in this country that pays taxes, that it's not enough to afford millions of people to come and get health care and all this stuff. And it's like, come here, be legal, work your ass off, and pay your taxes, do your fair share, not come here and manipulate the system. It should be special to be an American.
Now, I want to add this before we close and a few other final points with Jesse James here with us. I've been over your house before, hung out, shotguns, kids are, part of the same events and sports and stuff. And every time I'm like, hey, your guns are really great. We ought to do some business, blah, blah, blah. You're not even into business. You're just like separately do it yourself. But let's spend some time, because this is what America is men and women going out with passion, creating art, creating firearms, creating literature, creating music, creating culture. Let's talk about Jesse James, because you didn't come and talk about you, but it's all what Donald Trump's pushing, this American dream. Let's talk about what you're doing with your firearms and this great Breitbart article I have here where you're launching a nationwide movement, got it right here somewhere, to launch this whole Second Amendment operation, a Second Amendment basic defense group. That is super exciting because, look, I thought always the gun manufacturers.
Pretty honored to be named in that. Like the NRA, I have a licensing company and handle a brand for the NRA called NRA Originals, and have a really great relationship with them. and they asked me if I would want to be part of it, and I'm sure. And it was like, wow, like I might have to buy a suit.
But it's awesome because listen, I've always said this. It's not enough for people to be firearms manufacturers. You have to get aggressive politically. And they go, we don't want to be aggressive. We'll be targeted by Bloomberg. F him, man. And get ready to bleep this for our stations, but I'm going to say it because I mean it. Fuck Michael Bloomberg, who has 15 bodyguards and all these weapons.
You know why I don't like Michael Bloomberg? Because when I was on the Letterman show one time, and I had a front engine dragster that we took down 8th Avenue, and the side street on where the Letterman show was filmed, and I did like 140.
The Detroit Theater, or whatever it was.
Yeah, 140 miles an hour down the street and crossed it, and Bloomberg came down there and shut us down. So,
well, I mean, look, my thing is, listen, you don't have bodyguards, you got yourself. I don't either. But the frustration is, I go to some public events, I've got to now. Man, the general public can't pay for that. How uncool is it? We have video of him with 15 bodyguards with guns.
Yeah, but that's just, you're just talking like when you get out on the extreme edges of the country, California, New York, you're going to have all these politicians that like, you know, they're trying to be like the next Ralph Nader, you know, I'm going to ban the Pinot because they catch on fire, you know?
No, I agree, but it's game over, man.
Trying to do
you have 6 bodyguards, Michael Moore.
Yeah,
they've actually physically accosted me before. You don't get guns when I don't. Yeah, you know, it's like you don't have a right to bitch about guns when you have a freaking bodyguard.
Yeah, but they're trying to make all these rules and laws to like, oh yeah, he's the guy that banned the big gulps, you know, and like I think it's self-aggrandizing, which makes them like, oh, I'm the guy, you know, I get stuff done, and really it's just, you know, imposing rules and regulations on a society. It doesn't work because gun violence in New York and California is horrible, and they're 2 of the strictest states on gun rules. So how is that helping?
JJFU.com, JesseJamesFU.com. Wow, we've talked for years about getting you on air. It's great to have you here. I'm going to run a tape here and, you know, see you out, but please come back. I know we've talked to like, hey, we ought to show this blacksmithing, and I'm busy, you're busy, we don't do it.
How tall's Charlotte getting?
She's huge.
Like a little tiny.
Almost as big as your daughter.
No, I think she might be taller. She's like, I looked at her last night. I'm like, wow, you're not like a little tiny baby anymore. You're like a tall kid.
It's great that our daughters are best friends, but it's like Charlotte and Sunny World. That's all she talks about, and it's great. They went to, I guess, a concert last night, but thanks for taking them out. But you know, that's why I fight.
Yep. Leave them something a little better than what we had.
Absolutely. Well, you know, that's what gets to me is I'm not perfect, but I'm not out to screw people over. And I look at Obama.
Here's the you know, I'll tell a little story that's one of my favorite stories about being an American. So when I was in north of Baghdad, and I landed in Baghdad, ironically, on Election Day 2005.
Joe was telling me earlier, I didn't know this, you went into a combat zone.
Yeah. So I landed there. I went on my own, and it was at a time where the war had fallen out of favor.
Well, I didn't know this.
Media-wise?
Hold on. It impressed Joe and the troops.
Yeah.
You went in a war zone.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you went
I went in 2003, a month after the war broke out, went to Baghdad, and then I went back in 2005. And when I went to a field hospital there north of Baghdad, where it was kind of the main combat hospital, and you know, it was pretty bad. You know, there was like, you know, 2 or 3 kids a day getting killed, IEDs and stuff. And they, the thing that struck me is all the doctors were like from Johns Hopkins and George Washington University, and they did like, you know, 30-day stints there as volunteers, you know, main trauma surgeons and stuff. And so these guys were like, you know, and I went into the field hospital to meet some guys that were laid up that weren't bad enough to go to Ramstein, you know.
Germany.
Yeah. And so they were taking care of some troops, and like they had I was like, whoa, this guy's like, he looked, you know, like an Iraqi guy, and he was wearing Al-Qaeda like kind of garb, and they had his whole head opened up, and like his whole skull was peeled open, and they had part of his skull cap off. And I said, the one doctor was kind of walking me around, and like, I remember the guys that was, hey, what's up? He's doing brain surgery, and like shook my hand. And I was like, just the whole visual of it, like burned into my brain. And I asked him, I said, man, you know, this is like, there's a war going on right now, really bad. and we're in the main combat hospital, and you have one of our enemy in here, and you're trying to fix them. You're digging metal shards.
Because we're better than them.
No, and he's all, yeah, man, we're Americans. That's what we do.
Exactly. I didn't know you were going to say that.
Yep. And that that whole trip like changed my life. That like, yeah, and that's the essence what this country's about. It's like, hey, we can be Democrat or Republican or whatever, but first and foremost, we're Americans. And when this is all over on Wednesday, hopefully we'll get back to going to, everybody working together. And
well, I didn't mean to steal your thunder. I don't think it did, but that is Americana. Not that we're perfect.
Yeah.
We have always been the standard of the best. Not that we're perfect. Why does our media point out where we falter then? What is the whole point of that?
Yeah, well, I think it's going to get to a point where, we're used to doing things a certain way. We're used to going in and fixing everything. And, and if we keep going down the road we're not going to be able to do that. We're going to, dip down to third world country status where our military won't be strong and our resources won't be strong. And I always want to be like, oh, yeah, America, these people were stranded. We went in and saved them. That's what it's all about. And I think, if we don't take care of ourselves first and foremost, and number one, take care of our people, our vets, our homeless, the elderly, take care of those people, then we don't have anything.
We're nobody. And I mean, you're right. How we treat the least of us, we treat ourselves, as Christ said. And it really is true that we have an establishment that's threatened by the esprit de corps and strength of America. Even though they run the country, they fundamentally can't stand the honorableness of it because they're so dishonorable. And never before have we had a candidate like Hillary Clinton who is so evil, so dishonorable, all the WikiLeaks proving it, that she is fit for a prison cell not to run this country. And then there's Donald Trump, who was like sent from central casting from heaven to put up, because I put up with crap, you put up with crap, he's put up 100 times what we have. And I just hope and pray you're right. I think he's going to be elected tomorrow. If they steal it, it's a whole other ball of wax. But regardless, you agree with me, Jesse James, as an American patriot, as an entrepreneur, as a father, that Trump has won already just by putting the issue of Americanism, not globalism, anti-cronyism, true free market. He has turned the page.
He'll reach across the line and make stuff happen.
So you're convinced he's getting elected tomorrow?
I think so. You know what? I'm pretty confident.
Hey, I know the polls and the internal ones, which people pay to get, but aren't the ones on the news. When they only had 7% more Democrats, which I think demographically
they were trying. Who was AP or someone was trying reverse psychology, saying like, well, in Texas, if you don't vote for Trump, you'll benefit more. So that means he's going to win Texas. I think it's going to.
Well, how could he not?
If he wins Michigan and Florida and New Hampshire, it's over.
Well, Hillary in an hour is doing an emergency midnight deal in Michigan. What does that tell you, Jesse James? In fact, you're here. Been trying to get here for years. You're here. Other points you want to make? We're going to shut this down and air a tape and come back with the next host.
I'm good, man.
Well, I'm just glad that I've tried to get you on a few times. You're like, yeah, but it never happens.
Let's go to dinner this weekend.
Let's do it. But what got you out? Just the epic level of what's happening?
I think so. I think it's trying to try to put a human voice to it's the kind of the last night of the status of this country the way it is.
It's a crossroads.
I think tomorrow's a significant day for us in our lifetime, but I think tonight is like, maybe someone that'll be watching this and realize that, I'm not just some schmo, I have some ideas in my head, but, ultimately, I might talk a lot of smack, but ultimately I want the better for this country and for everybody in it.
That's deep, because even let's say Trump loses or wins, making the right decision against the establishment, the communist Chinese, the Saudi Arabians, the big banks, they're all against Trump. If people claim they're against the establishment, how could you not be for Trump? The establishment is against the American system.
Yeah, I think so. They want to own us and take everything over.
All right, I'm going to do this because
about that whole banks poisoning our water thing, though.
Oh, that's the banks. It's a little bit twisted. I've got the White House science czar admitting they put hydrofluorosilicic acid.
So one of my friends from California sent me some of the a picture of your silvers. What is the drops thing you have?
No, colloidal silver's great.
He's like, look, show Alex this. I take this every day.
When a regular antibiotic doesn't work, it's been proven.
You got to give me some of that.
Brother, look, you've known me a while. I only go with what I believe.
Give me the shits, is it?
I mean, no, I might give you the shits. Let me tell you the shits. You got to delay that. We're on some stations. Let me tell you, X2, it's the good halogen.
Okay.
Bromine, bromide, chlorine, fluoride are the bad halogens in our glands. Only iodine that's in the food and the water, but it's a very low level now, is there. All cultures that have it, Japanese the longest lived, high iodine. We sell iodine that's blue. Real iodine's not red, it's blue. The crystal's blue.
Yeah.
I'm a tough guy like you. I was a big fat ass, gained all this weight. I work out less than I used to. I've lost 45 pounds just taking Survival Shield X2 iodine because it's really the good halogen. But here's the problem. 2 weeks to 3 weeks into taking it. Oh, man, dude, oil coming out of your body, everything. It's heavy because the toxins. So, not that you need it, but I'm going to give you some X2.
All right, I'll try it.
Now, in closing, I'm going to air this tape here. I want to air a couple of clips. I want to air Conway explodes on Jake Tapper saying, you keep saying Trump's going to lose. Now he's heading polls. Back off. We've got Clinton rape whistle. I'm going to air that in line. MSNBC.
Hey, what's up with all the... I just can't wrap my head around that whole child molestation, sex trafficking thing.
Let's talk about, okay, you brought it up. Here's the deal. We like beautiful, full-grown women. We're men.
No, God, do you think that stuff's true?
Let me tell you. Look at the Catholic Church, not bashing Catholics. Look at Sandusky and look at what happened to Penn State.
Yeah.
I
mean, there's always going to be evil pedophiles and stuff all over the world, but I'm just talking about that one with Podesta and that stuff. Because I read the emails and like them talking about pizza and hot dog and like...
And we got three little kids in the hot tub for entertainment.
Yeah, I can't like...
We're not going to that party.
Yeah, like I don't know what I wanted to see.
We're not going to the party and like kill people, but we're not going.
I don't know what I wanted to see in the emails, but that's, I think like pedophilia and child molestation.
That's the line right there.
It's grounds for death.
Grounds for death. Yeah, I don't normally have visions of killing people, but when we do talk about it,
I didn't realize, really is the whole seediness of that whole side taking that.
Well, let me give you the intel. I was told a week before it came out that the NYPD forced the FBI to come out with a new deal. Not the ground swell FBI is good folks, but the top. And they've admitted they have this 15-year-old he's sexting. I've been shown by law enforcement what he was doing.
Yeah, with the Anthony Weiner dude.
Anthony Weiner. So, I don't know if all those thousands of emails in John Podesta's and his brother's situation are real, but here's the deal. Podesta's brother, the top lobbyist in D.C., is in a Washington Post article in 2004, just give you the data dumps that you asked, saying, I take photos of naked teenagers, and this is our deviant art, this is our right, we're going to show it. Then there's that. Then there's all this weird, and we're not joking about Satanism like a tattoo or something. We mean real Aleister Crowley black magic in the emails.
This stuff is this is the stuff that you've been talking about for years. This type of behavior.
It is, and because I would cover it, I had high-level FBI.
And this is the stuff that like people, he's a conspiracy theorist and stuff like that. And it's like, I looked at it and I'm like, man, this is like, besides the Soros and him funding, trying to create a civil war and stuff like that, but seeing like this accusations of pedophilia and stuff that looks like it's probably true.
Well, like exactly.
They're definitely not talking about pizzas, and they're not talking about...
They're like, we got $65,000 of hot dogs
and
tonight.
The Epstein guy with the jet to this private island.
And Hillary.
Yeah.
And now Eric Prince of Blackwater, who's a patriot. Mm-hmm. And I want to say this on air because I did the research. Every time a mercenary did something wrong with British companies, you name it, they would blame Blackwater. Blackwater was one of the most respected companies. Prince has come out and said, I have law enforcement sources. Hillary was on the plane. It's pedophilia with kids. That's Breitbart. So let me just give you the full scoop. I had family in the CIA when I was growing up. And I don't mean like analyst stuff. I mean trigger pulling people. Okay? And so I grew up with because they go after families. It's like breeds of dogs, though. I mean,
that's cool because my dad was a drug dealer.
Well, then you know how it works. The point is that I was always taught there's a corrupt group in the government. They're involved in all this evil, and we have to protect America. This is going on. This is happening. I'm not in the CIA myself. I just knew some family that was in it. And they said, no, it's Satanists. They're hurting kids. Then I learned about more. I talked about it on air, but just in closing, Jesse, I'm going to hold diatribe. Then I was told by law enforcement, yes, Hillary's involved. Yes, it's happening. Yes, they're doing it. Yes, Anthony Weiner. Then it comes out. They're at these events, Aleister Crowley stuff. They're making jokes. Then there's all these weird code words. The truth is, I don't know how far it goes because I'm not obviously.
I mean, that's like, you know, that's like a movie evil. You know what I mean? It's like a horror film evil. And
all I knew was like, I was brought up with.
It's so hard reading that stuff, but it's not presented in like a sensationalized manner, to read it in a matter of fact manner, the way the emails lay it out and the way I guess Reddit and stuff is. It's like,
well, they're like, we're going to have 3 kids in a hot tub for your enjoyment. I mean, that isn't hard to figure out.
Yeah, like I don't know. And then you got to look at it like, I don't even want anybody that's like remotely associated with pedophilia to be the commander in chief.
Exactly. And again,
that's who, even if it's, partially true or 3% true, I don't want them anywhere near making any kind of decisions for schools and kids and anything like that.
Well, exactly. They're like,
or if they were married to someone, or if they're someone that was related to did that and they covered it up.
But think about it. You wouldn't want to screw the country. You're like Trump. You want prosperity. They've got to hire somebody. It's like an entrance exam.
I just think it's been going on so long with that kind of behavior and corruption and stealing that those people probably don't even think they're doing anything wrong. They probably think,
Oh, I agree.
It's we owe them and they're elitists and we should be bowing down to them. And I think it's like time,
instead of beating their brains out with a baseball bat.
It's time that we have some kind of integrity again and some kind of class.
Let me ask you that in closing. Why are they so scared of Trump? Because politicians all offer rhetoric.
Don Jr. said it the best. It's like Hollywood's a kind of, or not Hollywood, well, basically Hollywood, Washington. But Washington is the kind of town where everybody, Democrat or Republican, they're all getting money and they're all getting paid for stuff like Hillary does. And everybody takes care of everyone. And Trump represents that, hey, the gig's up. We're done. Clean house.
I agree. The fact that they're shitting their pants.
All these politicians and all these crooked media outlets, because what is like Wolf Blitzer and all these guys that basically scammed and cheated to get some kind of edge. What are they going to do after tomorrow when Trump wins? How are they going to look and have any kind of integrity?
And I agree with you. If they try to steal it, though, and they've been caught rigging everything, it blows them up worse. That's why we can't lose unless Soros causes some type of major race right now. In closing, Jesse James, an hour and 20 minutes with us. It's been amazing.
You already said in closing.
I've already said it 5 times. We'll keep going 20 hours. I love this. I finally got you on air.
How many hours you got left? 38?
How long you want to go? No, we're going to get you out of here. But
it's after shit. At 9 o'clock, the TV's watching me.
It's 10:20.
I get up.
Any other points you want to make, Jesse?
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Well, you've said it all.
We're going to go celebrate this weekend. Making America great again. Steak dinner.
You keep talking about these steak dinners. I'm ready.
We got to go to that place out off of 71. Yep.
Every time you're like, let's go. I go, all right, I got to do something else.
We can't go by ourselves. We got to take the girls.
Yeah, let's take everybody.
All right.
Okay, we're going to go do it. But listen, I'm going to run a tape here. Let's run Why Women Hate Hillary Clinton.
Alex, sorry to interrupt, but Ted Nugent just took the stage at the Grand Rapids, Michigan rally.
Let's play
Trump,
Ted
so
Nugent.
I think we should go to break with that.
We've got tomorrow. I want to get Ted Nugent on.
Uncle Ted.
Here's Uncle Ted at Grand Rapids, Michigan rally. Let's play that, as I say about it. Jesse James of jjfu.com. Any other websites?
I just bought an ammunition company. Me and a partner in Payson, Arizona.
That is so American.
Yeah, guns and
that's not so manly. I need an ammo company myself. You have to have armaments companies to be a man, right?
All right, I'm gonna go home. I'm tired.
jjfu.com. All right, let's go to Uncle Ted. Here it is. Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks, man.
Great having you.
real Michigan get together to take Michigan back so we can take America back. Is this enough real Michigan to take Michigan out of the blue and into the red for Donald Trump? Are there enough real Michiganiacs, real Michigan deer hunters in Fred Bear country, in the winter water wonderland, to stand up for what we believe in?
To come into a broadcast, I don't know what is. This is the Infowars special election coverage, 52-hour edition. Alex Jones just signs off with Jesse James. They finish with a beautiful rendition of the national anthem. I've got a ton of stuff to cover tonight. We're still going to be live for at least 4 more hours tonight. We've got some news we're going to cover here at the top of this hour. We've got some videos we're going to play, some Trump ads that we haven't shared with you yet. I'm going to play my run-in with the female version of Age Skrillex, break that down for you, go through my experience that night. And then at 11 o'clock, we're going to start rolling with the guests. We're going to have Jack Posobiec joining us at 11. He's going to be followed up by Elizabeth Imus at 11:30. And then author T.S. Pettibone, Nicole and Brittany Pettibone will be joining us after that. We're going to really dive into WikiLeaks, everything they've discovered, we've discovered on that front. And we'll also have phone lines open for you as long as we're here all night long. That could be up till even past 2 a.m. Central Time here. That number is 1-877-789-ALEX. 1-877-789-ALEX. Owen Schroyer hosting the rest of the live edition for tonight. I'm joined right now by Darren McBreen. He came in here. He said he had some breaking news that just came across his desk. He wanted to get it out with you, share it with me as well. Darren, what do you got?
The Russians are coming. This is the top of Drudge right now, and we've been worried about this for some time, but top of Drudge and also NBC, Lester Holt is making a big deal out of this evening. All hands on deck to protect election. Where's the federal government there? No,
Saw that in the
they're in
primaries,
underground bunkers preparing for a Russian cyber attack. So that's what's going on.
It's truly crazy, and I agree. I don't see how Trump doesn't win at a landslide. I look at voter turnout. I look at what's happening on social media, but we know how they rig these things. We know what happens with the electronic voting machines. We've seen the video proof of votes being switched. It happened in the primaries, but you're right. We are going to have Americans out there watching these polls, and we have the Wear Red movement tomorrow. Right. We're going to wear red on Election Day, folks. This is how we're going to curb voter fraud. If we're all wearing red at the polls, if it's clearly a sea of red when you go to vote, they cannot steal this without blatantly lying to the American public, which, of course, they have been for years, but we hope that the optics will be so strong that the public will be able to wake up. So
and now everybody's starting to figure it out. So all aboard the Trump train, wear red tomorrow. Let's see a sea of red.
So here's the deal, folks. If Donald Trump wins, we've got a bunch of celebrities who think that they're going to go ahead and leave this country. They're so appalled by Donald Trump. They can't stand Donald Trump. Oh, my God. I got to leave this country. It's so bad here. Colin Kaepernick takes a knee. The oppression. Oh.
Let me guess, though. They're not going to Mexico.
One is going to Mexico. One of the celebrities. We've got a list here of 23 celebrities there, of course. You want to talk about deplorable? Amy Schumer is deplorable, okay? I'm sorry. This woman is disgusting, okay? She's never met a buffet that she didn't enjoy, but that's none of my business. So we've actually had some, we've got some great graphics people. Darren is actually one of them in studio with me right now who went ahead. They went ahead and they made up some great graphics. So let's go ahead. Let's go down this list of all these famous celebrities who are trying to see, this is what this is all about, folks. This is a psyop, okay? They get you to buy into these celebrities with the light box, with the flashing lights on the television, so that you take everything they say as gospel. Everything they say, you praise. That's your reality. And then these people come out here and they try to skew the reality so bad that they want to trick you. They want to steal your vote, folks. They want to these people are, this is what got me so ticked off when I started in the information war. When you realize that these people are trying to steal your reality, okay? When you realize that these celebrities I'm about to mention, I mean, look, maybe half of them are just clueless. Maybe half of them are just having a good time. But people like Amy Schumer, they know exactly the psyop they're operating, and they are trying to they're literally just using you as a vote. That's it. They don't actually care about your future.
It's not working like it used to, because did you hear what happened with Bud Light? Amy Schumer and Seth Rogen.
Gone.
They did a Bud Light commercial, and then the executives at Bud Light, they're wondering why their sales are dropping so bad. And they figured it out.
Because you put a fat pig on your campaign ads. Look at that. That woman is disgusting. I'm sorry.
And they're known liberals, and the public wasn't responding to it. So Bud Light sales were tanking, and they had to pull the ads. So look, it's a consumer-driven market. That's a good show of force right there.
Amen to that. And that is, I mean, your ultimate vote is your dollar, folks. You quit putting money into these people's pockets, or at least that's what we believe. Who knows? The Federal Reserve.
And if you don't like what Robert De Niro says about Donald Trump, don't buy his freaking movies. Don't rent them. Stop going to the movies to see De Niro.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and start rolling these graphics. These are the celebrities that are going to leave the country if Donald Trump wins. More reason to vote Donald Trump, to be perfectly honest with you, for some of these people. You guys got those graphics ready to go? So we are going to start here. There he is. There is Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart, folks, he has said he's going to move to another planet. So for Jon Stewart, it's Hillary or death. Give me Hillary or give me death. That is the credo of Jon Stewart. Good luck with that, John. I don't know of any planets right now that can sustain human life. How long you think you'd live on that planet, John? I think John is already on a different planet, to be perfectly honest with you, Darren. if he thinks he's going to have a give me Hillary or give me death as his slogan heading in. Yeah, see ya. We'll be sure NASA ships you off. All right, so we also got Chelsea Handler. Oh, boy, she's such an intellectual, folks. I mean, she has done so much great things for herself. She said she's going to move to Spain. Good luck with your show in Spain. I doubt it takes off. In fact, I doubt you even move. Here's what probably happened. she was probably told by her handlers that Hillary would win. A lot of these people were probably told by their handlers. Chelsea Handler, she has handlers, that Hillary was going to win. So they just, it's like, oh, don't worry. You're not going to look like an idiot. You're not going to look like a dumbass when you say these statements. Hillary's going to win. We got it locked up. But no, you will look like a dumbass, Chelsea Handler. And you already do. But, good luck moving to Spain. I doubt you speak Spanish. And I doubt any television networks in Spain want to pick up your rotten TV show. Now, Neve Campbell, this is actually, I'm not even sure if I knew who this was. But nonetheless, she wants to move to Canada. Her reason is pretty weird. She says his honesty is terrifying. I mean, I guess a drastic change to people is terrifying. I guess the honesty.
They like being lied to.
I guess, yeah. I guess some Americans like being lied to, too. Apparently, they voted Obama in again.
Got a point.
Bush in twice. Clinton in twice.
Yeah.
I guess I can just go down the list here.
We've been on a roll. Like I said, this is the last chance to make America great again. This is really our last chance to save the republic.
So
get Donald Trump in there.
So Neve Campbell, though, she's scared of change. I think that's what that is. She's scared of the truth. Most social justice warriors are afraid of the truth. All right, so she's going to go ahead and go to Canada. Good luck in Canada. All right, now Barry Diller. This is an interesting one from Barry Diller. He said he doesn't know where he's going to go, but he's either going to move out of the country or join the resistance. Well, wait a second. Join the resistance?
The resistance.
We are the resistance. Is he going to join us? Is he? Is Barry Diller?
Like it.
I
don't know, man.
Is he going to join the Trump movement now? He said he's going to join the resistance. That's the Trump movement. Barry Diller, you know what? I think his whole mind is a little unspecified. I'm not sure if he knows what he's talking about. Lena Dunham, she's also going to move to Canada. Now, it's been tough. It's been tough for Lena Dunham. She's really going to move, though. That's what she wants to make it clear, that she is really going to move. But you know what's funny about this to me, Darren? I don't know about your experience, but all the Canadians I talk to love Donald Trump. They want Donald Trump. They want him elected. Yeah. Is that what you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that. Well, even people from Mexico, and especially people in the Latinos on the border towns, absolutely for Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, who doesn't want a border? It's what makes a country, but I don't know. That's just common sense. Keegan Key, you may recognize him, another comedian. These are high-class intellectuals, folks. He is also going to move to Canada. And then he even admits it's basically like no different than America. All these people that want to move to Canada, it's like you could toss a rock and go to Canada. Why not just go now? Just go ahead. There's no border. You can just walk right over. It's not that much of a difference according to Keegan Key. So, just go ahead. Go over there now. Nobody's stopping you. Then we've got Chloe Sevigny. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I really don't care. She's moving to Nova Scotia. Yeah, because there's all those major studio production companies over there. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to move to Nova Scotia.
So this is a big Hollywood movement right now. There was a handful.
Were they going to start a new Hollywood?
Months ago, maybe a new Hollywood in Spain, and who knows.
I don't know. Is there a major movie production and TV production out there, guys? I don't think
they're not going anywhere.
Of course they're not.
They're going to get a vacation home out there. What's that? Go ahead. Yeah.
Canada invented the movies, folks. They also faked the moon landing. No, okay, so she's going to Nova Scotia. All right, now this next one, this might be the best reason, this might be the best endorsement Donald Trump has gotten. Al Sharpton is going to move. He's out of here. He's out of here, folks. He is go. Just go. Okay? Take your tax evading ass and get the hell out of here. Take your race baiting ass and get the hell out of here. I mean, go. Like, seriously, have you ever seen this guy, Darren, when he tries to read the teleprompter and fails? Have you ever seen this?
I've seen him pretty much regurgitate everything Obama says. He's pretty bad, huh?
I don't know.
He can't even read a teleprompter?
And honestly, folks, maybe we'll do this later. It's one of the funniest things you'll ever see. Al Sharpton versus the teleprompter. There's like 6 of these now. I think it was the Washington Free Beacon that makes these. I mean, seriously, the guy can't even read. The guy is illiterate. I'm not making this up.
Well, this guy's one of the most hated people in America. And even in Ferguson, Jesse Jackson showed up in Ferguson. Everybody was throwing rocks at him and yelling at him, telling him to get the hell out of there.
You know what? Here's the thing. Of course Al Sharpton wants to get out of here. This guy owes millions of dollars in taxes. Trump's probably going to get in and lock his ass up.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, Al. No wonder when to leave.
He'll be a fugitive.
Natasha Lyonne. She wants to go to a mental hospital. Now, I might make the case that that's already where she belongs. So, maybe Trump gets in, she goes where she belongs, the mental hospital. But here's the thing. She's a Hillary supporter. They all belong in a mental hospital. That's the thing.
Liberalism is a mental disorder.
They're sitting here scratching their head. She says it right there. How is this happening? How is this going on? Oh, my God, my whole world, my whole reality is blown up. Because you belong in a mental hospital.
Oh, I can't wait. They're going to be so butthurt. These people are going to be so triggered tomorrow. Trump pulls this off. It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch.
I can already taste the bubbly. All right. Eddie Griffin, he's going to move to Africa. Now, he says Trump is good at making money, but he's ignorant. Well, I got news for you, Eddie Griffin. If you think you're better off in Africa than America, you, my friend, are the ignorant one. Here's another one. Spike Lee. Spike Lee says he's going to move to Brooklyn. Spike Lee might be a little ignorant, too, because Brooklyn is still in the United States. So maybe go back to school and take a geography class or read a book. Spike Lee. Here's the thing about Spike Lee. Spike Lee is a known racist.
I was going to say this.
He hates white people. Mm-hmm. He talks about this all the time. So I don't know. I mean, maybe, I guess if Trump gets in, he can't stand the fact it's a white president. But Brooklyn is still in the United States, buddy. So Trump is still going to be your president. Amber Rose. I've never heard of this.
Wait a minute. We have somebody infiltrated the studio.
Alex, what do you think about all these celebrities who are going to move out of the country if Trump wins?
God, I hope they get the hell out of here. That little former Democratic Party head of the Clinton operation, Stephanopoulos, who's been caught in the WikiLeaks, scripting the news, lying to America. Please get the hell out of America and get out the way, bitch.
Do you think these
people bitch, get out the way.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Do you think they realize that them moving, Obama saying that we need Clinton is the biggest endorsement for Trump? Do they realize this?
I'm going to go get in the studio and dial on you guys right now, because you know what I love about McBrain? He's one of the best conversationalists behind the scenes around here. But then he loves to do these scripted, edited videos he does that are wonderful. I like the fact we're having a real conversation on air with Darren McBrain.
My God, man. Can you believe it?
My God, man. Jim, look at you. You're a doctor, not an Easter bunny. So I'm going to get to the studio. We're going to all do this together. I love it.
Alex Jones about to join us. Guys. Amber Rose, she's going to leave too.
Phone calls too.
Yeah, give out that phone number. It takes
1-877-789-ALEX, 1-877-789-ALEX. Folks, we're going to be on air for a long time tonight. I can already tell that.
Well, you're not done with the list yet, are you?
We're not even done with the list. We got Jones coming on. We got guests coming up. We got Maggie about to come to. This is crazy. The information war.
So far, there's not anybody on this list that's disappointing to me. You know what I mean? Like, all right, we got a
caller who wants to talk about Amy Schumer. I'm going to miss Amy Schumer. I don't know what I'm going to do, Donald. Please pull out of the race. I can't stand to lose Amy Schumer. Oh, my God. Let's go to the caller. Okay, I get it.
Owen's triggered.
Amy Schumer.
This will be a day long remembered.
Oh, caller.
The planet so much is clear to fire in T-minus 3 minutes.
I think you scared her.
I think I scared the caller. Well, hey, I mean, if, folks, we need to you can either choose to do everything you can to save this country and elect Donald Trump, or you can do everything you can to keep Amy Schumer in the United States.
Troyer.
I choose the latter.
Darren McBrain.
I don't know, guys. What's the deal with the caller? Can we get callers?
No, I'm breaking in. Connect me in where they hear me.
Okay, well, let's just go back until I guess we get Alex dialed in here. Amber Rose, she can't. That's what she says. What's that? I'm sorry. What's that back there?
Hey, I wanted to talk about Amy Schumer's
here we
career.
go.
She is a complete plant. She started out appearing on these Comedy Central roasts as a nobody. Eventually, she started getting this show with low ratings. No one was watching it. She's just a totally planted celebrity. She's got no organic
She
fan
did
base.
seem like she got success overnight, didn't she? All of a sudden,
she's not even
everywhere.
funny. What has she done that's funny? Besides get fat and act like a dumbass.
I know, it's complete slut. That she's doing the whole slut routine, which is real popular.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to call you fat. You could be a 300-pound blob on the couch, but, I'm not supposed to call you fat. I'm sorry.
I don't mean to interrupt the caller, but I now realize we have a bunch of different studios, and we're doing this live. The Skeleton Crew doing a great job. That I was babbling over everybody while I was about to hear, but we'll go back to the caller in a moment. Let me just say that this is all divide and conquer, as if women will be better off without men, or men will be better off without women. It's all an admitted plan to end our species as we know it, and they force feed this not funny woman on everybody.
Social
They put
engineering.
hormones in the food and water so that we're overweight, and then say we're bad to point out it's happening. Like, why is breast cancer up 3,000%? Because it's what they're doing to us. So this is just some sad collaborator that was brought in to sell us on this whole deal. All the real women are awake in what's happening. They're just looking for real men. The average man's busy watching the NFL and acting tough. But Owen and Darren McBreen, what an epic time to be alive. Because here's the deal. We'll tell you what the real polls are. We won't sit there and tell you somebody's ahead when they're not. We told you they were going to steal the nomination from Trump and that they would fail. They failed. We told you they'd steal it from Bernie and succeed. They succeeded. We told you that the chemical weapons attack in Syria were launched by Al-Qaeda and ISIS. It was later admitted. We have the sources. It's not hard. And let me give people a big secret here. And this is why I used to follow more leftist brainwashing 15 years ago. I got part of the problem, but not all of it. Compared to the general public that are a bunch of jellyfish, the military and people in the intelligence agencies want us to be strong and take the country back. They're risking their lives. So on average, they're generally a little more flesh in the game than the average person. But it's our weakness that allows all this to happen. It's not the TSA's problem, groping our genitals while the border's wide open. It's that we're allowing a central government to do this to train us to be slaves. So what I'm getting at here is maybe the cops are good. Maybe they're bad. The point is, it depends on the jurisdiction. They're not the issue. They're the local government. It's the central globalist government that's the problem. And George Soros and all these pieces of crap want us to fight with each other. And along comes Donald Trump saying, China has a 35% currency tariff on ours. They have a 10% lower corporate tax, meaning our jobs go there. We match that. They're done. By the way, I'll cut your taxes by 50% and eliminate people paying taxes under $45,000 a year. Now, dumbasses say, well, we won't be able to pay off the debt. You cut taxes on the general public, it turns up the economy, more tax receipts come in. I'm not going to go over the history of that, but I've got thousands of points to make, but I keep going back to that because JFK did it. It turned the economy loose, and they killed him because of it, because he wanted to get rid of the Federal Reserve. I'm informed. And pseudo-intellectuals at Salon who write articles about how pedophilia is a great thing criticize me and make up quotes I didn't say. Let me just give Salon a little newsflash. We're 10 times bigger than you with our website. Our website's a small part of what we do. Please, when you're promoting pedophilia and big, fat, degenerate pedophiles talking about 5-year-old girls and how much they want them, please demonize me. Please say you're against me. But see, they're so in their own bubble as traitors. They think, hey, we're out here with our tallywhacker swinging around, wanting to, grab girls out of the backyard or whatever and take them for a ride, that you think I'm the bad guy because I came from a good family and I could kick 50-year asses? Not that I'm that tough. You're that low. You people aren't men. You're not humans. You're telling us all day why we're not humans, why we're ugly, why we're over, why we're pathetic, because you are living sacks of shit. And you need to get it through your head that if you want to bang heads with us, we're going to bang heads, and our big, thick skulls and our big craniums are going to smash you into the ground. And listen, I get it. You're psychopaths, you're sociopaths, you're criminals. And in your criminology, you're always begging to get put in your place genetically because your body realizes your subconscious isn't evil. Your conscious is. Your body's saying, kill me, kill me, kill me. Please, somebody come and kill me. And listen, here's the good news. Metaphysically, we've already woke up from our slumber. The return of man is here. And our hands are now wrapping around your throats. And here's the thing. We don't want to strangle you, but you want it. And you're not going to stop. So here's the news for you. You're going to get what you want. And the return of humanity is here. You were only there to test us in your patheticness. Because you're all freaked out like, God, we're total scum and cowards and wimps. And we got to get rid of families and men and women because we're really scared by this. And God, we're weak and pathetic and we don't have parents. Can we shit all over people? And you're like, I guess we will. We got the state. A bunch of robber barons hired us to F everybody. You were only there metaphysically and allowed your limited gateway to rape us, to activate us. So now, make no mistake, you want to come in contact, you're going to get it. And it's only the beginning. Whether Trump loses, wins, draws, the spirit of liberty is rising. Owen Schroyer, Darren McBreen, other points you'd like to make?
Well, I think what makes me so ticked off about these celebrities is their arrogance.
They're nothing. They're pieces of crap.
Exactly. And they come out and they're so arrogant.
Oh, and I don't want to brag because I'm not bragging. But my greatest enjoyment in life after taking care of my family is pissing on Hollywood. I'm not bragging. I have got Discovery Channel shows, History. I don't even do them anymore. Top shows. Never watched them. Major movies out where they license clips of the show. It's all over movies. I don't even go see myself in a movie because it's satanic. I piss on your movies. I piss on you. I piss on your fame. I piss on your fraud. I piss on your God, the devil. Go ahead.
And that's why I want to take a political piss on Amy Schumer by voting in Donald Trump, because you're not going to control our destiny.
Pathetic, empty, talentless, cancerous, pathetic, empty blob who is just there to create division, and she doesn't even know why. She knows she says stuff, and her managers pat her on her little rotten brain. Go ahead.
I think that's it right there. From here on out, folks, let's trend this on social media. Amy Schumer is the blob. Amy Schumer is the blob. From now on, we will just refer to her as the blob.
University of A&M created systems to make male and female fire ants not breed. She's a scientific program to make the species kill itself. And so she's the goddess of death to teach us to kill ourselves and to not want women.
Well, looking at
she's
her,
a goddess of death to teach women to hate men and to teach men to hate women and not have the incredible holy union. She's an abomination. She's a satanic ritual.
Alex,
she's the opposite of sexual pleasure that God gave us.
You deliver that speech and then you present Amy Schumer as your evidence, and you will win any court case, my friend.
I mean, look at her. She's just another fake trendy with a bunch of old hunchback Hollywood people that are bought off by the communist Chinese who got a one-child policy and kill women if they have babies. I mean, they can't get that through here. So it's just, China has a one-child policy to kill women. To kill women, we give men Amy Schumer. And the men are like, God, let me kill myself immediately.
Yeah, and then she gets, she gains 40, 50 pounds eating fried chicken and ice cream and then tells you this is what beauty is. It's beautiful to be fat. Well, whatever. You can be fat, you can be skinny, you can do whatever you want. Don't tell me what the definition of beauty is.
That's right. It's all about this Rockefeller Foundation creature telling you, like they first tell you it's heroin chic. Mama's got to look like some 14-year-old kid because you got all these weirdos that want a guy that are into the fashion. That's wrong, too. We want Marilyn Monroe. We want ba-boom, ba-boom. But then the next phase is take some piglet woman that hates men, like every other movie is, and teach women that's the secret. That's just how to put women alone and shut down their lives. Here's the bottom line. Let's go to DrudgeReport.com, Infowars.com. Viewers, I'll be honest with you. I've been up since 4:30 this morning. Slept a little late this morning. I apologize. And all I know is last time I checked, we had like 5 million views on Facebook and Google. Outside, listen, we need 50 million, 100 million. We need to not be bigger than CNN. We need to be 10 times bigger and to rub it into them and their patheticness and their scripting. Hey, Owen Schroyer, Darren McBreen, is there any scripting here in InfoWars? Be honest. Tell folks the inside secrets.
None. Note, you won't find one teleprompter in this huge, ginormous facility that we have.
No, but if I give you directives, what is it like? Hey, she's trying to start World War III. Look into that. Or look at this social. I mean, what directives do you get here?
No, we do our own news. We come up with our own stories. The writers come up with their own stories. And every once in a while, Alex might come in and say, hey, did you guys, did you look at the top of Drudge? Thanks, Alex. That's a great story. We'll talk about it.
Actually, we had a big, Alex gave us a huge directive this morning. He came in, he said, attack! Attack! All out assault on the governors! Take Hillary Clinton down!
I forgot. I did actually do that. Is that?
Oh, yeah.
What is it like to have a boss that does that? I forgot. That's like real.
I was sitting at my desk this morning. I don't even remember what I was looking into. And Alex popped in before he went on air. He said, all out attack today. We're taking them down. This is the awakening of America. You are the resistance. Ah! And then everybody said, ah! And here we are live for over 10 hours and not even sweating yet.
Yeah, what's 11 a.m. to right now? You're right. God, I love it. McBreen, let's put you on the spot. McBreen's the best conversationalist ever. But just like I have this phobia of names, where I'll have somebody's name is a little different. So I know how to say the name until I get on air, and then I get this thing because I want to respect them. So because I respect somebody, I can't say their name right because I feel like I'm disrespecting. So I get McBreen choking occasionally on air. He's one of the best reporters we got. Great graphics person. McBreen, just talk for 5 minutes by yourself. Go ahead.
I'm going to talk for 5 minutes, right? Set the clock.
All right, we're going. Okay, 10
All right.
seconds.
All right,
It's
here we go.
10:59:50, 10:59:53, 54.
All right, tune him out.
55.
Tune him
Hold
out a
on.
little bit.
Pot
Tune him
56.
down. Tune him down.
You gotta pot him
Hey,
down.
cut his mic. Cut his mic.
All right, you got 4 minutes. You're live now. Go ahead, McBreen. It's 11 o'clock.
All right, well, Owen, you could join in anytime. But look, we were talking about what would the world be like right now without Donald Trump, okay? If we would be looking at the stereotypical left versus right paradigm, right? But something tells me since Donald Trump has been in there with these WikiLeaks, would there be even these WikiLeaks if it wasn't for Trump? I think they sense this huge push right now to overtake the globalist elites. And instead of like Hillary Clinton's out there claiming that it's the Russians are planning all these stories, or it's the Russians who are hacking the emails. No, it's not the Russians. This is.
Hold on.
Yes. I hear something. Was that Alex
it's Russia.
Jones?
Don't turn my guns in? Okay, I agree with you. Okay.
It's Russia. Hold on. Russia's on the phone.
Is Russia on the phone?
Sorry, McBreen. I said you were 1 minute and I'm already interrupting. Total genius. Come in.
Well, no, look, Hillary Clinton claims it's the Russians, but we know that it's the intelligence community. This is basically an internal coup d'etat within the intelligence community.
A counter to the coup d'etat.
Exactly. That's a better way.
Which is French from coup d'etat.
And we've talked with NSA whistleblower William Benny. We've had Anthony Schaefer, Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer, on the show, and they are basically saying that all these WikiLeaks are coming from within. I think that says a lot.
Well, I think to answer...
McBreen, you're only... Hold on, Owen. He's 2 minutes in. Most eloquent guy in the whole office. McBreen has to continue. McBreen, go ahead.
Hey, I need some feedback, man. Come on, man. I asked a question. Look, I tell you what, he answers my question, I'll go on for another 10.
Okay, go ahead, Owen.
So I think that my answer to the question is, where would we be without Trump right now? I think we would still be in the same vacuum that we've been in, where we're sitting here banging our heads against the wall. We're sitting here parroting the same things,
We
trying to get the
finally
truth
got a
out.
candidate that would call out the fix.
Exactly, but it goes beyond that. I mean, he not just does he call out the fix, he gets detailed. We've had candidates say it's fixed. Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Obama, they've said it before. He goes into detail. He talks about the trade. He talks about Obamacare. He talks about
the
everything.
WikiLeaks,
He
the
talks about
secret
the board.
deals,
Exactly.
how they run it,
No,
and
he
then they
lays
go,
it out.
They go.
He lays it out. And
They
I
go,
think
Trump won't lay out his specifics when for a year it's all been on his website.
He's like,
not only on his website, he says it publicly. He detailed plans.
it's like, it's almost as if we're the Batman, and for all this time, we've just been a legend. We've never really existed. But now all of a sudden, Trump is here, and he's the bat light in the sky, saying, it's time. Like, the Batman is the bat light in the sky, saying, it's time. Like, the Batman is real. We're fighting. This is a real fight. That was part of the illustration in the movie. The whole reason Lieutenant Gordon would flip the light on is so that people would be like, we're not alone. We're fighting. There's somebody out there. Even if the Batman wasn't there, he flips the light on so that the people feel confident.
And now let's talk about it before you go back to calls and I leave you. We have 24 hours more just in this next day, and then more 52 hours broadcast. We're like 12 hours in. So there's 40 hours left or so. Infowars.com/show. I'm not bitching. We've only had 5-6 million viewers separate from our regular audience, but let's do 20.
Dude,
30.
it'll be 20 tomorrow.
Of
It's going
course
to be
it will
huge. It's
But we
huge.
need to really embarrass everybody. So if the audience sends the links out, Infowars.com/show, the YouTube, the Facebook, all of it's going to be huge. Just to show how pathetic they are. But let me ask you this question. Hillary and the globalists have staged the polls. They've staged exit polls. They've staged media. They've lied. They've gotten all the corporate money. Infowars.com/election has it all posted. They've done all of this. And so if they've already been ready to expose themselves and lie and say that if you're against Obamacare, you're a KKK member, while Hillary's hanging out with Grand Dragons, why wouldn't they try to steal it? Because they know we won't buy it. So Owen and Darren McBreen, what keeps them, if they're already this entitled, from not stealing it if they've already, for a year and a half been cheating and losing at every level and saying you can't have Bernie Sanders. Well, the Democrats bought that. They're very pathetic. And then and that was a big Republican enemy. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. But the Republicans said, no, our vote counts. Trump stood up and fought for it, so he won. So it's got to freak them out knowing the country's awake, Trump's awake. They try to steal this. He's got poll watchers everywhere. This is epic times.
It's epic times. Not only that, but we've already got Kit Daniels has a report on Infowars.com right now that inside sources say internal polls by the Democrats show that Trump is way ahead already in the swing states. I think he's going to win by a landslide. So the only possible way for Hillary to win is by massive voter fraud. But then we're also talking about the top link on Drudge right now is all hands on deck to protect election hack. So they're saying U.S. officials are preparing for a cyber attack from Russia to swing the vote in favor of Donald Trump.
I mean, talk about horse crap. The
flag.
Russians aren't involved in anything.
But of course,
the feds are globalists. They're taking over to engage in fraud. God help America, feds for hacking, false info. The feds are saying, if you announce fraud, which they're catching all over the country by Democrats, people being arrested in Florida, California, voting for Hillary over and over again against Trump. And then they turn it around. The Russians are behind it. This is not the feds. This is the globalists running the feds. Every election fraud piece of news coming out is against Trump. So, again, we see Trump winning. We see polls showing him winning. We see him way ahead in battleground states. A huge shift. That means nothing because they're so arrogant. What difference does it make about Benghazi? She steals furniture at the State Department, the White House, the cutlery, the spoons, the knives, the forks, the saucers, the plates. I mean, the salad dressing, boats, the gravy boats. I mean, there's nothing this demon won't do, McBrain.
Well, and I think, too, Alex, what you said earlier about these elements inside the government that are pushing back, it's because they're looking at the American public finally seeing some life. And they're hoping that...
finally, I'm not landizing government, but it's true. They keep saying, like in V for Vendetta, I was waiting for you, Inspector. It's true. They're actually more active than us, so we can't piss on them. We're Americans, too. They're waiting for us.
And it's gone from whistleblowing to now people within the government actually throwing punches. I mean, that's what we're getting here. And we're getting all of this evidence from within the government with WikiLeaks. We're getting infiltrators with Project Veritas. They have it. I mean, it's a joke. All they need.
We've got Democratic operatives showing up and saying, I've got a gun and go after Trump. And then he goes, Trump made it up. The person threatened him. When they had a guy also in Nevada a few months ago with a gun saying he was coming to kill Trump. And they go, oh, shut up.
It's just like Trump says, the only person that can stop the corruption is you.
And that's what a lot of the members of Congress have said. I mean, this is just mounting. It's mounting. So we went live at 11 a.m. Central. So take 12 hours up to 52 hours. We basically have 40 hours left right through tonight, right through tomorrow, all these big guests, right through Wednesday. I mean, wow. I have a certain peace knowing that Trump's winning, showing the statistics, the polls, the numbers. We have all the different feeds in case they take down one or the other at Infowars.com/show. Infowars.com/election also has a bunch of leads and feeds. But I got to tell you, Owen and McBreen, I mean, listen, we're smart guys. We're going to do okay, no matter what happens. But Trump, I've never been for reparations because I didn't do anything. My family didn't do anything. But Trump says, hey, we'll cut taxes on black people even more. We'll have tax exemptions to build your neighborhoods. I'm all for that. I mean, imagine, he means it, by the way. It's been done in some cities. It's helped make folks that have been downtrodden rise up. I'm all for that because their prosperity makes my prosperity better. I want to see them rich and prosperous. Under Obama and Hillary, black unemployment doubled because they want to keep them under their control. And we have the WikiLeaks admitting they want to keep them poor.
They
and
want to keep them on the Democratic plantation.
That is such an asswipe. And I don't mean to mean terms like that, but it is. To want to look at people like you own them and want to keep them poor so you run them. And that's why you have record low turnout for Hillary. Go ahead.
Well, and that is so key, Alex, because if you break down these elections, if you go and look at the results, folks, the Democrats, they don't have populism ever. If you look at a voting map, you can go back years and years and years ago. It's the same thing.
It's
Pennsylvania,
people they control.
Missouri, inner cities. That's it.
Yeah.
The only blue places on the map are inner cities. If you broke down the whole map by counties, the whole map would be red. You wouldn't even find blue. The only
And not the Republicans are perfect, but totally captive people are the Democrats' voters.
And they know this, Alex. They know that without the black vote in the inner cities, they don't have a chance. Without the people on the Democratic plantation in the inner cities voting them in every year, they have zero chance.
That's right.
Zero.
I'm going to punch out and let you guys take over because a lot more is coming up. Just briefly, I skip breaks. I don't plug stuff. We don't fund ourselves. We're still doing good because you understand that and support us. We need to be refueled. We have the best non-GMO seeds, great Christmas presents, with the best water filters, the best shower filters, the best books, the best films, the best nutraceuticals. It's all there at InfoWarsStore.com. And we've got, this is about to sell out. It's limited edition. Trump is my president. We'll ship it out to you. Not in time for the election now, but a lot of folks have it. It's red shirts. Wear them tomorrow. The other stuff is all sold out. That's at cost. It's about to sell out. InfoWarsStore.com, 60% off, 30% off Super Male Vitality and free shipping. 30% off DNA Force and free shipping. 34% off all high-quality storable foods, InfoWarsStore.com, and free shipping. 30% off Survival Shield X2 and free shipping. 30% off Pro Pure Water Filter King filters and free shipping. Best system. 25% off Secret 12 Methical Bottle of Vitamin B12 and free shipping. 50% off all Pro Gun, Molon, Labe. Come and take it. And man, you see our reporters, what they do. It's just the lifeblood. I don't have to tell you. InfoWarsStore.com. InfoWarsLife.com. You need the optics. You need the DNA Force. You need the storable food. You need the Super Male Vitality. You need the Brain Force. You need the X2. You need the colloidal silver bullet when there's an infection that other stuff hadn't worked on. You need it all. InfoWarsStore.com. And here we are. I'm not bragging, but who can tell you they're more in the face of the enemy? Nobody is, except for like Drudge. Drudge is on the same plane as us, nobody else. Infowars is on a plane nobody else is on because we have the will to do everything. We have the will to take action. Breitbart's great. Stephen Bannon is now driving the Trump train by Trump's winning. Populism, nationalism, common sense. And I'll tell you, 5 days ago, just like in Star Wars, to use the allegory, the X-Wings have got the guns shooting at them. And all of a sudden, the enemy fighters come and they go, the guns stop. Scan for enemy fighters. The guns have stopped. No more attack pieces. Let me illustrate that. I'm going to let the guys take over. Do you know what it's like to have 1,000 newspapers a day attack you? That's some days. Usually it's 200, 300. TV stations all over the country. I don't care. They're lying about me. I don't care what a bunch of scum do. Allied with a bunch of pedophiles. Good. Thank God. But the point is, it's like, to show how centralized it is and run by a central group. I wish it wasn't. I wish the attacks were still happening because it wouldn't mean it was centralized. The lies, the deception, the false quotes, the fake racist quotes you've never heard because I never said them. All of it stopped 5 days ago because it all failed. And now it's silence. We've gone from, on average, 300, 400 articles, 20, 30 TV stations or networks attacking me every day with lies to total silence 5 days ago. And you sit back and you see one attack they put out and you see Media Matters, MSNBC, and then 1,000 newspapers hit you with lies, saying quotes you never said in a wall of fraud, in a wall of lies, in a wall of corruption. And you don't feel bad for yourself. You feel bad for them. Folks, if they started announcing they want to arrest us and put us in forced labor camps, the average trendy would kick your guts out and laugh about it. Here's the good news. We had founders. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, Patrick Henry. And we're peaceful, loving men. We're not looking for trouble. So if all these little chicken necks want to physically fight us when we're kicking their butt in an info war, that's their choice. But we'll do everything we can to avert that. But man, they have articles out by the thousands before their guns stopped 5 days ago. I mean, I I read stuff I'd never seen. It was like, Jones says the National Guard is Nazis and want to kill you. And I'm like, there's no link, there's no quote. I never said that. Alex Jones hates Jews and black people. No link, no proof. Alex Jones worships David Koresh. That was in over 200 papers one day. No proof. I said David Koresh was a cult leader. Should have been arrested. Instead of burning down the church. I had the sheriff on 20 years ago to say we should have arrested him in town. He had a business. Again, the fact that they've had to go to that point is our victory. So whatever they do to me, I'm a man. I'm not sitting up here like I'm the biggest badass around, but you punch me, I'm going to punch back. And I can sit back and tell you my family name is secure, and I've done the job I'm supposed to do. It's not some power trip. It's just who I am. I look at Stephanopoulos and all these sacks of shit sitting there telling us they're going to leave the country. Listen, you son of a bitch. You're scared this country's going to throw your carpet-bagging ass out. I see you, you little bloodthirsty maggot. Whatever happens to me, I just pray to God you get brought real low for what you've done, you little son of a bitch. So you understand one thing. There's a real world out there. There's a real God. There's a real devil. And for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And I want all the little men to know something. You were brought up as pieces of shit. And you thought you could dominate everybody because you were so insecure. And you thought people that were better than you were bad because they were better than you, and they were building a stairway to heaven for you. And so now you've started fights with people that are going to break every bone in your body. So when you metaphysically have had your sternum broken and your ribs broken and your little neck strung up, you remember that you ran into real men and we kicked your ass. Now I'm done till tomorrow. I'm going to turn it over to Darren McBreen and Owen Schroyer. But make no mistake, this is real. This is the Infowar.
Amen to that. And let's remember what happened before the silence that Alex just talked about. They fired the Death Star at him. Hillary Clinton mentioning him multiple times. Obama mentioning the things that we talk about on the show. And then what happens, folks? The Death Star failed. And as Alex just said, we're not perfect. We might not be right all the time, but we're real. And at the end of the day, that's it. And these people that you see on the mainstream news are total sellouts, folks. They're greedy sacks of shit. Just like Alex said, at the end of the day. They would sooner get their paycheck, get their fame, than actually get any real news out there, get any real information out there, or try to do anything in the general interest of this once great country that we will make great again. Derek McBreen.
I just want to say that something I heard Donald Trump say recently, it was a couple of weeks ago during one of his campaign stops, and he asked for everybody to pray for him. And he says, I'm praying for you. Please pray for me. And he said, I thought this was remarkable. He ended by saying that he feels that the only chance he has to get to heaven is by becoming president of the United States. And I think it says a lot about his heart and a lot about his mindset. He wants to do what's best for you, what's best for me, what's best for all of us, and what is best for the country. And I truly, truly believe that.
And I do too. And I think that, again, the only reservation I think that's fair to have against Donald Trump is that he's the greatest psyop of all time, the greatest actor. It's not what I believe. It's not what I feel in my gut. It's not what the actions and the optics are to me. But that's the only reservation I'll hear. Maybe he's the greatest psyop, greatest actor of all time. Anything else, I'm not hearing it. Hillary Clinton supporters, give me a break.
We know what to expect with Hillary Clinton. The most corrupt. It'll be the most corrupt administration from the very beginning, from the very get-go. We know what to expect from her. Well, absolute corruption.
It's going to be wild because whoever gets into office is going to be the most hated president as soon as they get in. But I think with time, Donald Trump could go down as one of the greatest if he gets the chance.
I think so too.
All right, so guys, do we have Jack Posobiec ready to go, or what's we got? Jack is ready to go. All right, well, let's go to Jack Posobiec. He is the Special Operations Director for Citizens for Trump, and he's been a great guest. I love talking to Jack, very informative. He's has a lot of good intel as far as what's going on with the election right now. Let me just guarantee you that. Let's go ahead and go to Jack. Jack, can you hear me? There he is.
Hey, Colin, how's it going?
Well, there seems to be a lot of high energy, a lot of good energy coming out of the Trump camp right now. What are your feelings right now?
Well, Owen, you should have seen some of the energy we had tonight. So myself and a group of people, I'm located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for today and tomorrow. I'm going to be on the ground here looking for fraud, looking for cheating. And a bunch of us went down. Hillary Clinton had her final rally tonight. So all of the Clintons and all of the Obamas were there. Myself and about 50 of my closest Trump friend supporters all went down and crashed the entire place.
Now, you guys did it was a Trump flash mob, right?
Exactly. So nobody from the campaign was there, totally organic, right in the heart, the belly of the beast, liberal Philadelphia. And I got to tell you, there were so many people that saw us and they were scared to come over to us. They would scream and walk away, or they would avert their eyes. I got to tell you, but nobody was telling me oh, you should vote for Hillary because she's good. It's all just, we hate you.
Or so don't vote for Trump because he's so bad.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I've worked a lot of elections in the past, and that whole we dislike your opponent and a negative vote thing, it's not enough to win an election. You still need a core group of voters that are supportive of the candidate to push them over the finish line.
Now, to me, based on what I saw, this was the most people Hillary has ever had an event by far, not even close. And you were actually on the ground. It looked like she actually might have had about 10,000 people in that field area. What do you think?
Let me break that down for you, man, because these people were not there for Hillary Clinton or any of them. So here's what it was. It was a concert billed with Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen. And Philadelphia is a very short bridge ride over from New Jersey. So you've got Toronto, you've got Trenton, and you've got Camden that are right there. All the license plates I saw in these cars were from Jersey. None of the people were actually from Philadelphia, where she was trying to get out the vote. So politically, it was a complete failure for her because all these Jersey people came over because they wanted to see Bruce Springsteen.
They came out for a rock concert. That was all.
Yeah. And we talked to people afterwards, and they said, well, yeah, we're not really for her. We don't care. We just wanted to see Springsteen, and that's about it.
And we had similar stories of people coming out of the Jay-Z Hillary event saying, oh, we don't care about Hillary. I just, we want to see Jay-Z. So thanks for bringing Jay-Z here, Hillary, but we still hate you.
Now, the crazy thing about it was, while I was on the ground and I hadn't yet seen the video of Hillary having her mini seizure walking down the steps, or even maybe she was throwing a few back tonight. I don't know what that was.
Yeah. If you guys want to pull that video up, Jennifer Epstein on Twitter. Go ahead, Jack.
And I am apoplectic as how Jennifer Epstein, a Bloomberg reporter, would post a video like that, knowing how terrible it makes her candidate look.
Well, this is how dumb they are, Jack. This is how dumb they are. She tweets the video, and she thinks that she's got some sort of she was there, she's cool, she's got the inside video. She's got the video of Hillary Clinton arriving and greeting Bill Clinton. Yay, I'm the establishment. Yay, I got the access. And she's so stupid, she doesn't even realize that we just caught her candidate either drunk or having a seizure.
And to her, it's like these people live inside of an echo chamber. They live inside of a bubble. We heard people today coming up to us and say, oh, Trump supporters, I've never seen them in person before. I've never seen them in person. I mean, break that kind of statement down. It's as if we're some fictional, amorphous thing that exists in television and in a different reality from them. And no, we're right here. You could see us on TV. You can see us and all this stuff because they don't watch the stuff we watch. And I really have been breaking this down a lot, and it's almost like we live in two realities at this point. There's the reality of people who are on the ground going to these things. You guys are reporting it. Social media is reporting it. And then there's the false reality that's being pushed out. Alex likes to refer to it as being inside the matrix, and I think it's an apt analogy because they're looking at these these news stories that are false. They're looking at these poll numbers that are false. They're looking at these Hillary rallies that are false. They're billing it as a Hillary rally. Like you said, they said, oh, they had 10,000 people for Hillary. No, these people came for a rock and roll concert. It's Philly. We love rock and roll.
There are so many illustrations here. One, how the Democrats love to use psyops and trick people into a false narrative where, oh, look at all these people we had. It's so amazing. But no, they came for a rock concert, okay? That's like Hillary shows up at a baseball game and says, woo, look at all my supporters. No, they came to see a baseball game. But what you talked about there was so perfect, Jack. There's the reality, and then there's the TV reality. There's the real world, and then there's the TV world. And here's what I mean by this, folks. It's just like what Jack just said. I've never seen a Trump supporter. Oh, my gosh, like it's some sort of illusion. There's millions of us. When I go out and I say Trump or I say something bad about Hillary, I immediately have Trump supporters chirping at me from all different angles. Like, oh, Trump, make America great again. Trump, Hillary for president. So we're definitely out there. But they're so engulfed in the TV fake reality. That's their reality. So if the TV says Trump supporters don't exist, if the TV says that Trump is a racist, then there you go. That's the reality. Point blank.
There is an infamous New York Times column from back in the 60s. I believe it was 68, where the title of it was, "No one I know voted for Nixon."
That's how it's going to be. But the funny thing is, it's going to be for Hillary. I don't know that many people.
Like that. And this Newsweek, this false Newsweek cover that people are talking about, where they already, Madam President, that's going to be like the Dewey beats Truman newspaper headline, the famous one that, these things are being printed up, but it's like the Super Bowl stuff that they print for the champions, the guys that lose. This is not going to be a winning election for her. And talking about on the ground stuff, I'm receiving information now from a lot of sources, people that are on the ground in Philadelphia, people that are on the ground across the state. We will know so much about what's going on in Pennsylvania that I will probably know more about this election by noon tomorrow than almost anyone in the country.
Well, that's good to know as far as I'm concerned, because I don't want to trust the fake TV reality to give me the honest results. But let's just get into that. I know you got a bunch of intel. You can't share it all in the air, but just where, as a Trump supporter, where are your emotions right now? Where are you feeling Trump actually is right now entering election eve?
Donald Trump is in a very good position right now. And there's two things for that. So he is ahead by several points in national polls, and he's very close or slightly ahead in the swing states. So for a Republican, for the onslaught that he's received in the mainstream media and the national press, this is an amazing position for him to be in. Any other Republican candidate would be 10, 20 points behind right now, something egregious that would be insurmountable. Only Donald Trump could have withstood this. So to be in that spot is very good, number one. Number two, with the FBI's refusal to enforce the law yet again yesterday, it gives Donald Trump supporters something new to be motivated about, a new step in the case, a new turn, a new realization, and really pressing the button again of reminding them that this is the type of thing that Donald Trump is running to defeat and to correct in the first place. This corruption, these games, these pay for plays, these things that people are, completely taken off the hook. When we know that a law has been broken, we know there's no way that they can review 650,000 emails in 1 week or 5 days or whatever it was even, and people are sick of it. So that motivation, combined with the general enthusiasm gap between Trump supporters and Hillary supporters, will be enough to defeat that going into it. The issue that we see as being most challenging for Trump right now is going to be the issue of Democrat voter fraud.
And that is what we've basically been saying this whole time. And I know you've got your eye on it. Roger Stone has his eye on it. And hopefully millions of Americans at the polling place will also have their eye on it. Jack Posobiec, Citizens for Trump, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to get you back on again before we finish this broadcast. All right, my friend?
We'll be on. I'll have lots of intel to share tomorrow, my friend.
And I know you're not going to sleep tonight. You're on Mega
Oh.
Energy 3 times.
This is, I wish I had some brain force. Maggie said she was going to send me some brain force, but I don't know. Maybe I'm traveling around too much. I must have missed it.
What's up? We got to get this guy some brain force. We just actually released a new brain force. You get 36 capsules now instead of 30. As if we didn't give you
I need
enough.
all 36. I need all 36.
Well, thank you, Jack, and thank you for that plug. We're gonna get you some. Brain force. I don't think you need it, brother. I don't think you need it, to be honest. You're kicking some serious ass.
If I was on brain force right now, Hillary wouldn't even be in the race. She would have dropped out long ago.
Somebody get this man some brain force. All right, Jack. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon, friend.
All right, just make sure she doesn't get any.
Well, I mean, I don't even know if it would help her. I feel like I actually wanted to do this as we salute Jack as he leaves us. I actually wanted to do this as kind of like, maybe I could still do this. If Hillary loses, it won't be as powerful. But basically an ad, like, Hillary, we've heard that you have some serious health problems. We're caring people. We really are. We care about you. We feel bad that you've had all these health issues. We feel bad that you can't even get off of a plane. You can't even get into a car without somebody helping you. I mean, these are serious issues. And we want to help you, Hillary. We've got super female vitality. You're a bit of an old maid. I imagine that your bones are a little sore. We got some bone support. So, next time when you go completely limp, next time when you pass out and fall down and almost die, you can have a stronger kneecap or a stronger hip. Maybe next time you fall and hit your head, you take some bone support formula and you can have a stronger skull. And then maybe you won't get that concussion, Hillary. But the truth of the matter is, folks, these products are no joke. I am a user myself. I'm yet to use an Infowars product that I didn't want to use again. And that's when you know it's good. So InfoWarsStore.com, that's how we're able to do this broadcast. That's how Alex is able to hire people like me and the great crew back there that is helping me get on air. And in fact, do we have Elizabeth ready to go, guys? What's that? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll say this. While they're getting Elizabeth ready to go, I've been wondering what I can do, what I can say, how I can infiltrate people's own mind, their own thought process, how I can manipulate their own logic against their own fake reality. Because I've always felt the reason why people have liked listening to my broadcast is because I'm real. They can relate to me. They feel like they're talking to someone they're friends with. They feel like they're talking to someone they can relate to. And I feel like there's something that all Americans should relate to. I don't know if they can, but all Americans should be able to relate to a few things. And so this is kind of what I ask, nonpartisan, to try to enlighten people about where their vote should go in this election. And I simply have 4 questions, and I'm curious, maybe the listeners can add to this. Maybe they can, tell me whether they think this is effective or not. But here's what I say. Nonpartisan to any undecided voter or a Hillary Clinton voter or a Donald Trump voter, anybody, all voters. Is the government corrupt? Now, who wouldn't say yes to that, right? I mean, that should be a yes across all spectrums. Of course, what we've seen, because Hillary is so corrupt, these Hillary Clinton supporters have to lie to themselves, folks. They have to lie to themselves, and they can't admit the government is corrupt because they know if they admit that, then they can't vote for Hillary. It's amazing. This is the brainwashing we're dealing with, where people can't admit the reality because it means they have to act. But is the government corrupt? Would be the first question. Anyone who wouldn't lie to themselves would say yes. And naturally, the follow-up question, do we need a change? I don't know any right-thinking American, as in logical thinking, common sense thinking American who lives in reality, who would not say yes to those 2 questions. Nonpartisan, is the government corrupt? Does it need a change? That is a yes, yes. That should be the easiest test you've ever taken in your life. So then I follow that up and I say, which candidate is from the government? Hillary Clinton? Which candidate represents a change? Donald Trump. So you see, based on this circle of questioning and logic, there should be no Hillary Clinton supporters, folks. Unless you are willing to lie to yourself and say the government is not corrupt and that this country doesn't need a change. Unless you are willing to lie to yourself. That's essentially what you're doing. If you answer this series of questions honestly and still think Hillary Clinton is your candidate. At least that's how I feel. Is the government corrupt? Yes. Does this country need to change? Yes. Which candidate is from the government? Clinton. Which candidate represents a change? Trump. Nonpartisan, not confusing, very simple. Of course, there are a lot of issues to get into this. If you talk policy, Trump still beats her there too. He completely trumps her across the board. But again, most Americans can't really think that in depth, so we try to break it down on a simpler scale. What is the current status right now on Elizabeth, guys? Okay, so I'll tell you what. Why don't we roll this video? This might be a video that can convince some people not to vote for Hillary. Do we have the "What Difference Does It Make" remix ready to go, guys? Okay, let's go ahead and let's roll that video. This is a video of Hillary Clinton. This is a classic video, folks. Hillary, James Comey. This is the true essence of these people. Total frauds, total shills. How could you vote or for support for these people? This is a classic video. What difference does it make remix? Let's go ahead.
Good morning. I'm here to give you an update on the FBI's investigation of Secretary Clinton. What I want to do is tell you what we're recommending. But first, let me tell you what we found. 110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains are top secret. 36 of those chains secret. And 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
Everything I did was admitted. There was no law, no regulation.
Secretary Clinton should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email.
None of these emails should have been on any kind of unclassified system, not even Gmail.
But first of all, nothing was marked classified.
To the contrary,
Nothing was marked classified.
there is evidence of a tremendous amount.
Classified.
Now let me tell you what we found. 110 emails.
It was not the best choice.
52 email chains
It was the mistake.
have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains are top
It wasn't
secret.
the best choice.
6 of those chains
I said
secret.
it was a mistake.
8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
With respect to our recommendation, this is going to be an unusual statement in at least a couple of ways. Although there is evidence, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. What difference at this point does it make? 110 emails.
It wasn't the best choice.
52 email chains
I made a mistake.
have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains are top
Not a
secret.
good choice.
6 of those chains
I said it was a mistake.
and 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make? Make.
So there you go, folks. James Comey pretty much indicts Hillary Clinton with his speech. She broke the law. She had classified emails. She lied about it. And yet, she gets away with it. And I just don't understand how any American citizen doesn't become infuriated knowing that Hillary Clinton is above the law. And, you know, we're talking about a private email server, okay? We're talking about Hillary Clinton lying under oath. Now, she'll play the whole card. She didn't know any better. She didn't have any intent. They admit, she's perfectly healthy. But then when she can't remember any of this during an investigation, all of a sudden she has brain and memory issues. Remember, she's perfectly healthy when Alex Jones questions her health. But when the FBI questions her on emails, she has mental disorders and memory problems, those concussions. So, again, just more total hypocrisy, more double standards, blatant lies out of the Clinton camp. But I don't understand how any American citizen does not become infuriated with the fact that she is truly above the law, folks, okay? If you get pulled over for speeding and you tell the officer, well, I wasn't intending to speed, is he going to let you off? If you get, it's just like, this is so common sense. I can't even believe I have to come on air and actually break this down for brainwashed morons. So that's why the cops never wrote me a ticket. Oh, wait, that's the exact opposite of what happened to me. But nonetheless, but that's why I'm so pissed off. It's because I've suffered the extent of the law. When I broke the law, I had to pay my dues. Literally. It's not cheap. And Hillary Clinton gets to fly around the whole world on a jet paid for by her money laundering foundation. Oh, and then she gets away with breaking the law, lying under oath, and gets to run for president. I'm sorry, I'm getting really ticked off actually talking about this. Again, what is it going to take to wake America up, folks? It's all, you know what? I'm sitting here, I'm all pissed off because I'm buying into the propaganda. She's lost. She's dead. This is a dead candidate. This candidate has no support. The only places where you find Hillary Clinton supporters are on the brainwashed liberal campuses. That's it. I've traveled around. I've followed this election. I went to the debates. I went to the rallies. I've gone around. I've done man on the streets. I've done exit polls, folks. There is no Clinton support. I'm sorry. I'm corrected. Was that Marcos? We got such a great staff back there. We got Marcos, we got Joe, Daria, everybody back there doing a great job. But I stand corrected.
The dead still vote for Hillary.
I stand corrected. Hillary has the support of the dead vote, and she also has the support of the illegal vote. She also has the people who vote in 2 states. So I stand corrected. But of the alive Americans who are actual registered voters, Hillary Clinton is basically getting her ass kicked. What's the current status on Elizabeth, guys? Wonderful. So we're getting her worked on. I'm joined by the lovely Leanne McAdoo in studio. Leanne, you just saw me get all ticked off with the fact Hillary Clinton is running for president. Give me a minute to just kind of cool down.
I'm down. Yeah, I know you have election stress disorder. I
Yes.
suppose we're all exasperated by the thought that
I just want to see that bitch in jail. I want to see that bitch in jail. I cannot rest until that bitch is in jail. I don't have election fatigue. I have Hillary Clinton fatigue. I have lying globalist scum fatigue. That's the fatigue I have. I'm sick of being lied to. I'm sick of my future being stolen. That's the fatigue I have. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sick of it.
Do we have that on it? Can we get that all in a
Gosh.
I don't think you can call Hillary Clinton such lovely names. Oh, and you get really fired up at 11:42 at night.
Let's see, Leanne.
What are we in? 12 hours in now? 13 hours? Oh my! What else? 13 hours. It makes me think of someone. What difference does it make at this point?
Well, we hope we're going to get Elizabeth on here shortly, and we're going to talk about Hillary Clinton's corruption with her. And then I have to talk about the connection between Hillary Clinton and possible pedophile rings. But you know what? Let's vote her in.
Sounds like a real good night here.
You want to sit down? You want to join us here, Leanne? We're joined now by Elizabeth Imus. Elizabeth, I don't know if you just heard me blow up live here on air, Infowars.com/show. If you want to see me blow up more, go to InfoWarsStore.com. Elizabeth, I got in touch with you some years ago. We were both working on some political projects. We kind of went our separate ways, but I saw you pop back up on my Twitter feed today. I saw you were still fighting the good fight. It's nice to see that you're still fighting the good fight, that you're active on social media. and that you want to see Hillary Clinton put in jail.
Yes, and yes to all of that, actually. But, when I met you maybe a couple of years ago, you seemed like kind of a normal guy, and I've been watching you tonight, and you're a maniac. I don't know if you're aware of have you always been like a total, you're crazy, like you're serious, so much energy. I love it. I just didn't know that when I first met you. You seemed very quiet.
Well, no, honestly, here's the thing. I'm a normal guy, like you said. I'm honestly an average guy. I like the same stuff most other guys like. The problem is when I have to come on air and I have to talk about Hillary Clinton and how she breaks the law, gets away with it, and then gets to run for president. And then I sit back and I think about my past, and when I have little petty crimes, I have to suffer the fullest extent of the law. I cannot help it. I lose control. I really do. Maybe I have some anger issues.
Well, no, you don't. But what you're able to do is you're vocalizing your frustration that all of us feel. The whole country feels it. That's why this is a movement, because we're all so incredibly frustrated at the hypocrisy and the lack of logic that seems to be, like you've been talking about tonight in Hollywood, and I live in Hollywood, and I know these people, and I've been unfriended by many of them, as soon as they heard how I believe, they became suddenly very intolerant. But a lot of them, while they might be stupid or idiots or whatever, most of them are really lovely people who have just honestly been lied to. And that's what's infuriating, is that Hillary Clinton is all the things that you were calling all of the celebrities. I have no doubt that she is all of those things. She is evil. She is backwards. All of the Democratic leadership in the United States are lying specifically with this tribalistic thinking and this tribalistic wording to trick people into this low-level thinking of what this is really about, when it's not really about racism. It's not really about, somebody's a sexist or says mean things. It's about a progressive agenda that has to do with globalism, and it has to do with taking our freedom away. And that's what many of these celebrities who are boxed into this group think. It's almost like electing the high school king or queen, prom king. They're boxed into this thinking of like, I'm just going to kind of go along with the crowd because it sounds nice. They want to take away our freedom, but it's for the greater good. So who wants to argue with, I want to help people, but they don't really understand that it entails actually enslaving the American people and taking our freedom away.
Right.
I hear you.
And it's one thing to be like, okay, there's Hillary Clinton. Oh, she's a politician. She's up there lying, whatever. No, I mean, what type of person lies for an entire speech? She knows she's lying. I mean, that's a demon, in my opinion. This is Elizabeth Imus at Imus0 on Twitter, ElizabethImus.com. Tell me, Elizabeth, what first drew you to Trump? When did you jump on the Trump train?
It's been a long process, and it really started back when that whole thing came out with my father and how the media took him to task and called him a racist for some really stupid and irresponsible, hurtful comments that he said about the Rutgers basketball team. And what struck me then was that I was so shocked by what they were saying about my father, because even though my father's a millionaire narcissist, and I happen to know a little bit about millionaire narcissists, and I can see some of my father in Trump. And the thing about it is my dad growing up never, ever said anything about Black people. He's not racist at all. If anything, he hates his children more than anything, because we drove him nuts. But the truth about that was so shocking to me. And then I read Andrew Breitbart's book, and I realized what the media is doing. And I started to kind of piece all of these things together. And I really didn't use my voice like I thought I should when Obama was being elected. And I regret it. And so I knew that this time around, and for the past several years, I've been involved and interested in politics. And I decided that it's going to cost a lot of friendships. And quite frankly, it has. It's cost me work opportunities and basically being ostracized by a large majority of people I work with in Hollywood. But I felt that speaking the truth was more important. And and to speak it in love and to come from a place of understanding, because we can sit there and bash Amy Schumer and all of these celebrities, but the truth is most of them honestly they really don't know. They don't understand what it means to be a progressive, and that, the only thing that any of us ever start out with in this life, and everybody, whether you believe in God or not, can agree that the one thing we're all born with is freedom. We all have the right to be free. And when people say, I'm a slave, or, so they think of the word slavery, they put it into a negative connotation of like, a rich man exploiting the work of another poor man and making him a slave for his own enrichment. But what they don't understand is that taking from one person to give to another is not equal rights. It can never be equal. And it's a form of enslavement. And they don't see that's actually robbing people of their freedom. And they don't see that the government is getting not only involved in our healthcare system, our educational system, they're in every facet of our lives, because the elite rich Hillary Clinton honestly believes she's smarter and better, and she's going to globalize the world. And she wants everyone to have one cookie, not two. But what they don't realize, or maybe they do realize and they don't care, they think they can somehow make socialism and fascism and communism all work, is that our founders, our forefathers came over to this country and founded it because they were fleeing from that kind of dictatorship. And that's what makes America so special, is that there is no other place in the world where a woman, can speak out without being, told I can't even go to school or I can't drive. There's no other place in the world where you can actually have the American dream. This is why they want illegal immigrants. This is why they want refugees from countries who don't value American freedom, because they just want people to depend on the government. They want to make it all equal, and they're doing it in the name of greater good so everybody can thrive. But it doesn't work. It ultimately doesn't work. And we're seeing that in Europe right now. Nobody wants to go to France. Nobody wants to go to England or Germany, or Sweden is now the number 2 rape capital in the world. So I'm sorry I'm going on and on. I'll let you
I completely agree with you. And you talk about being born free. We have a law of the land. Now, this country's never been perfect, okay, folks? I'm not claiming America's ever been perfect, but the ideal is, the thought is that you're born free, you're born with the same opportunity as everybody else. The country's never been perfect, but that's the idea. That's what the founders set in the Constitution. That's what you're born with. That's what's so great about America. That's why people rush here. That's why, as you just said, the founding fathers and the original people came here was because they were sick of being born into the oligarchy. They were sick of being born into the establishment that forces them into all of these indoctrinating industries like you just talked about. Healthcare, schools, these are all government-run industries. Now, it's funny because you talked about how you've had situations in your life where your support for Trump has cost you friends, cost you jobs. I think it's sad because everything they say that Trump will do as far as racism or discrimination is concerned, they actually end up doing that to Trump supporters in one of the most unbelievable hypocrisies I've ever seen. But I'm curious, Elizabeth, what do you say to women when you encounter women that want to vote for Hillary Clinton? What do you say to them?
I say you're out of your mind. Are you on drugs? No, but let me tell you something else, Owen. There are no Trump or Hillary signs within a 10-mile radius of my home. And I put up a Trump sign in my front window of my home because I thought, well, I don't want it to get stolen. And somebody shot a gun at my house and broke out the window. I had to call the police at 1 a.m. So, yeah, it's that whole
and see, that's voter suppression right there. They say that Trump is doing the voter suppression. Trump supporters are doing the voter suppression. You just told a story of real voter suppression.
No, yeah. I mean, it was really shocking to me. I couldn't believe that it actually happened, but the window's still broken, and they're finally coming this Friday because it's an arch. It has a special cut that you had to have made, but I put up more signs. I said, this is a violation of freedom of speech. And you know what? All my neighbors think I'm totally nuts. One lady was like, this little lady, she's like, why don't you take the sign down? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't care if people think I'm crazy. I'm not going to be silent. It's so silently while they marched their Jewish neighbors off to the death camps. And I know that's an extreme example, but this is really, truly what is happening here, is that they are scaring people into being silent. I didn't put a sign on my car because I have a really nice car, and I'm like, that's a little more expensive to fix. But what's happening is truly terrifying. And what people don't understand is that every drop of freedom that you give, they say, oh, well, so what, the NSA can, whatever, can look at my emails, I don't care, but every little drop that you give of freedom away, you can't get that back. It's very difficult to get it back. And that's the only way a socialist government can function, is if it's under total control and suppression, and to intimidate and to hush up the citizens, to follow in line. And that's what people are unfortunately doing. And I'm not going to be one of them. If my forefathers risked their lives to come to this great nation, to found it, and died for, so many of our great men and women in service have given their lives for our freedom, I honestly would be willing to give my life for it. And I don't care if people don't like me. If they didn't like me, then, because of that, they weren't my friends to begin with, because truth and integrity is everything. And without it, we have nothing. And so I want to encourage anyone who's watching this to speak to your, you started with a question about what do I say to other women. And I tell them, this is a distraction. All these women that came forward with Trump, while I don't want to discredit them, I don't know the truth. If you read, there's a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It was written in the 1932, and I think chapter 8 or chapter 11 talks about sexual transmutation, and it goes through and it historically documents all of the great leaders in history who were great leaders all had one thing in common, and that was a very high sex drive. And sexual transmutation is the ability to transmutate that energy, because sex is a huge spirit, like physical or human emotion and energy, to be able to mutate that into, funnel it into work, into productivity, into positivity, and not just, go off in the White House and have an intern give you a BJ like Bill Clinton, who can't control it. But great leaders all have that in common. So, the only thing that tape with Trump really told me was that all men are pigs. Great. It's something I didn't know. Like I really care about that. The point is we're in deep trouble. We have people who are out of work. I'm one of them, but I can't get a job because Hollywood hates me. But that I don't need one. So I have the luxury of being able to speak out. But there are people who are really suffering. My health insurance, even though I don't have a job, my health insurance has gone up $200 a month. And they're telling me it's going to double.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah. And it's like, what? I mean, this is seriously, and I can't imagine people who have children or families, what they're thinking about, what they're doing. And all these people are caught up on these like, oh, Trump is a jerk, he's a narcissist. Well, you know what? My dad's a narcissist millionaire. And well, Trump's probably, I guess, a billionaire, so it's a little bit different, but it's almost like a personality thing, and I get it. I think he's almost like, if I had to call it, I would say he might be Asperger's, or like, where they're really super genius, but they say stupid things and they don't socially connect or get it. Those things are, so high school. It's so tribalistic. Like people are looking at the little issues and they're not really examining the facts, because honestly, we're inundated with media and with everything that's coming in at us in this world. It's going so fast that people don't have time or the luxury to like I do, to read the news all day and to really look at 3 different newspapers, and now it's like, what do we even look at? Because as we can see from the WikiLeaks, they're all in bed. They're all corrupt. And that's another thing people don't understand. The media is selling advertising. They're trying to sensationalize the news. They're not trying to report it accurately. They're trying to get you to watch them. And people don't get that either. So it's really, that's what I tell women. I try to educate them on just the basic human principles and basic logic, It's very frustrating.
It's tough. It's tough to get logic into some of these people's heads. Final question before we let you go, Elizabeth Imus, elizabethimus.com. What do you think the odds are of Trump winning in California? I think it's probably 0, unfortunately. And then what do you think the odds are that Trump wins this election?
I am praying to God, literally. And I've asked people on my Twitter account to join me in prayer because it's in God's hands at this point. California, I mean, unfortunately, we're a blue state, but I've done everything that I possibly can.
And you still voted.
I did. I voted. You know, there's certain parts of the state that are more red than blue, but unfortunately, you know, I don't know. I don't know that he's going to win California. I am praying that he wins. It's very, it's upsetting because you hear the polls and you know that the media is lying to you, and you know that they're in bed. They've been emailing Clinton campaign directly, asking for questions and delivering questions to her, and so you know, but it's still frightening because you want to buy into it and you want to think, you know, my feeling is like, well, maybe Trump really will win, but the polls are rigged and maybe somehow, you know, like Julian Assange says.
All right, Elizabeth, I hate to cut you off, but we have to go to break at the top of the hour. Thank you so much. ElizabethImus.com @Imus0. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Anthony Gucciardi joins us to talk about BioPCA, the latest formula to be announced and released by InfoWarsLife.com. They're true game changers. They're organic. They're proven as safe. And they're also very affordable.
Exactly. You talk about being a game changer, right? You talk about, we're in an industry where we talk to the industry leaders. We've both talked to them. They have individuals that are hired only to save money and get the lowest quality junk and put it in as many capsules as possible so they can make the highest profit margins. Okay? We refuse to screw people. We refuse to do that. We actually want to make something that's good.
I went on what Mother Nature gave us, and it's changed my life, and it's also helped the InfoWar change the country and the world. It's a win-win. InfoWarsLife.com. Brain Force is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more crazed, more focused, less brain fog, more energy, more special reports, and it's because of Brain Force.
One of the worst things with most energy products is it's not sustainable, right? You're going to crash and going to feel really bad afterwards. This has a bunch of different antioxidants and compounds and polyphenols.
Everybody's on these drugs to knock their brain out because the brain's so fried.
We kept changing this formula over and over and over again until it became sort of a grand puzzle. For example, the L-theanine inside of it, that is activated by the different compounds in the yerba mate that we put inside of it as well. This just increases the compounds you already have.
This is what you're actually designed to run on.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a car will run on one form of junkie gas, but it runs really good on what it's designed for. You will find Brain Force, Survival Shield X2, and other game-changing products at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
If you can't see the irony in having a gun ban enforced by men with guns, well, then you fail to understand why the Second Amendment was written in the first place.
Throughout history, only slaves are disarmed.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state.
The right of the people. The right of the people.
The right of the people
to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
For all of you actors out there who go to your red carpet events surrounded by full battle rattle SWAT teams while you accept your awards for your latest violent movie. For all you politicians who spend your 9 to 5 days scheming up ways to take away my Second Amendment rights, meanwhile you have first responders on site there to protect you, I say this, come and take it.
I have a strict gun control policy. If there's a gun around, I want to control it. Clint Eastwood.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Dads demand guns because it's me that's got to get up and go check out that noise at 2 a.m.
Infowars.com.
Talk show host is Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Deeply, I think, racist.
I just got called racist by MSNBC.
I don't want that man to have a gun.
1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
The Alex Jones Show. Watch the free stream live at Infowars.com/show.
Thousands of years ago, there was a basic form of chivalry. Our ancestors would hear the drums of war, giving the warriors of the tribe a chance to organize and prepare a defense. 60 years ago, when foreign air forces were approaching filled with bombs, they had drums of their own, air raid sirens. But in the 21st century, there are silent weapons for quiet war, pathogens added to the food and water, and to the lining of plastics that destroy our vitality, turn off our hormones, and accelerate our journey towards death. I personally counter this onslaught with Anthroplex. Anthroplex is designed with known organic concentrated herbs to create the basic foundation to normal metabolic activity inside the human body. Discover why Anthroplex is turning so many heads today. It's time for us to take our bodies back into our own hands, and it starts at InfoWarsLife.com with Anthroplex.
The bottom line on nuclear weapons is that when the president gives the order, it must be followed. There's about 4 minutes between the order being given and the people responsible for launching nuclear weapons to do so. As president, I will make it clear that the United States will treat cyber attacks just like any other attack. We will be ready with serious political, economic, and military responses.
They're voting for peace on planet Earth if they vote for Trump. But if they vote for Hillary, it's war.
We came, we saw, he died.
With her, you'll end up in World War III.
I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran.
Right now, Senator, for us to control all of the airspace in Syria would require us to go to war against Syria and Russia.
I'm
Donald
asking you
Trump
to dream big.
Is still
because
live.
With your vote, we are just hours
This is the
away
second
from the change
day
you've been
in a
waiting
row
for
that Donald
your
Trump is
entire
on the
life.
stump after midnight. How many 70-year-olds do you know
So to every
that are
parent
up
who dreams
after
for their
midnight,
child, and to
let
every
alone
child
doing
who dreams
5,
for their
6
future,
events
I
a
say
day,
these words
traveling
to you
around
tonight.
the country?
I am with you.
The energy of this man,
And I
folks,
will
this
win
guy,
for you, I promise.
this is unhuman energy. This guy has the power of God.
To all Americans,
I'm not saying he is God. I'm saying that the American people, their thoughts, their prayers are behind Donald Trump. This is honestly, this is God's will. The fact that Donald Trump has this much energy, the fact that he is still speaking in Michigan after midnight. Let's take a listen before we get the Pettibone twins on the air.
Make America safe again, and we will make America great again. Thank you, everybody.
Hell yes. Donald Trump.
God bless you, everybody.
The final night. It's election eve. There he is. Get out and vote Trump.
Thank you, Michigan. We love you. We'll be back.
Wow. What an absolute beast. Donald Trump has been in beast mode these last couple days campaigning 6 events a day, speaking past midnight. He was on till like 1 a.m. last night, folks. Okay, where's Hillary? You know, Hillary, she probably took her knockout from InfoWarsStore.com about 4 hours ago. She's passed out cold. They probably injected her with some serum to knock her out so she can be up at 6 a.m. in the morning to get ready for these results. Who knows? She was having a bit of a seizure earlier, or maybe she was drunk. Maybe she was having a wine cocktail with Wolf Blitzer. I'm joined by Margaret Howell in studio before we get the Pettibone twins on. I don't know, Margaret, what do you think? Hillary Clinton sleeping right now, having a seizure in an iron lung?
Look, we know the woman has a history of liking the drink.